Adding a natural gas grill to your home means never having to run to the store before kickoff to fill up that propane tank again. Make the switch today.
Now it's your turn to be the champion of your team and score a touchdown with ORUD and natural gas, a winning combination.
I'm alive.
Happy Friday evening, everyone. We are live at Anderson County High School for this week's OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by my cohort, James Gibson. And tonight, it's Anderson County versus East Ridge. It's homecoming here at Anderson County, and some bad news that we got. James Gibson and I were so looking forward to what is called the greatest show on turf. And it's talked about every time any kind of media comes to Anderson County High School. There are fireworks. It's a great spectacle, and we can't see any fireworks because of the recent drought. Not enough rain, and so the school had to, because of the fire hazard, say no to the fireworks. So that's a little disappointing.
It is a little disappointing, but it's better than having a forest fire somewhere or something, because it is ridiculously dry here. We need rain bad, so good decision.
Supposedly getting rain on Monday, but we don't get to do Anderson County next Friday, so I don't care about that. So welcome in our lead title sponsor, OEB Law. OEB helps thousands of people in their time of need, so OEB always looks for ways to support the community that supports and trusts them, doing things such as annual dog wash, turkey drops, support for remote area medical, support for CARM, the Kidney Foundation, Ronald McDonald House, local school support, and support for the arts and music. So, told you, we talked about it. The greatest show on turf is what they call it. So, here we go. Week 7, a time to earn a spot in the playoffs and earn your seed for the playoffs.
Yeah, this is the most exciting time of the year, Aaron, as each team fights a little harder to earn a spot in the playoffs. It's serious business now.
So Anderson County and East Ridge have only played the last 2 seasons because these two teams were not in a region together until then. AC's dominated those 2 games. Do you think East Ridge has learned something about playing a David Gillum team that will help them tonight?
Yeah, anytime you coach against someone a couple of times, you really start to learn their coaching traits and their tactics. You got a lot of film, so you really study it. It definitely won't hurt, but Anderson County is really tough this year, so if East Ridge doesn't show up in a big way tonight, it might get ugly.
You see the homecoming festivities on the field. We're going to talk about this game, but we're also going to talk about other teams and other games going on around the area. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Support community here.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owner's insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Come celebrate Ford Truck and SUV Month at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Edge, $27,998. New 2019 Ford Fusion, $19,960. Or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low price.
Race on down!
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Homecoming festivities have wrapped up. You see the king and queen there at Anderson County High School. This is our OEB Law Game of the Week. Very excited for this one, and we'll talk about this one in just a moment as we are at Anderson County for the East Ridge game. But first, Coach, I know you've talked about Catholic struggling this year, and it's their first season in Division II. But that team went on national television on ESPN2 last night and defeated Brentwood Academy, the defending state champions in that classification and that division. What are your thoughts now on the Irish?
You know, I've been pretty hard on Catholic this year. With all the talent they have, I feel like they should definitely be pulling out some more wins than what they have. But looks like they've got this thing rolling. Since the quarterback changed to Caden Martin, they are 2-0 with big offensive production from the son of Tennessee assistant head coach and national champion quarterback T. Martin. Martin passed for 144 yards, completing 10 of 20 throws, which isn't the best, but it's still 50%. And he ran for 46 yards on 12 carries with 3 touchdowns last night. Now, he had a lot of issues with cramping up, but let's see how they continue to develop by being more consistent as the season progresses.
All right, another game last night had the Bulldogs of Bearden getting their first win of the season against Hardin Valley. What's more surprising to you, that Bearden just now got a win, or that Hardin Valley hasn't had a win since week 1 against Oak Ridge?
Well, the Bulldogs are a surprise to me, but they had a really tough schedule. The combined record of Bearden's first 5 opponents, Aaron, was 25-1. Losses have come against unbeaten's West, Maryville, Dobbins-Bennett, and McMinn County. Bearden's other defeat was to one-loss Bradley Central, so they've had a tough schedule.
All right, so what about Hardin Valley then?
There's some weaknesses there. Hardin Valley, on the other hand, isn't really struggling, or they are really struggling defensively. They've allowed 33 points a game. That's unacceptable. If they don't figure things out on that side of the ball, it will be even worse moving forward. So they got to get a little bit better defensively.
All right, we've talked about the past a little bit. Let's talk about the present when we get back, because there are some really big key games going on tonight that will have playoff implications in the smaller school classification in this area. So we'll talk about that. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Greg joined the military to serve his country and fight for freedom. He was a dedicated soldier, and during his days off, Greg enjoyed riding his motorcycle. But none of that mattered to the speeding driver who was texting and slammed into him. Greg had medical bills the insurance company refused to pay until Greg called OEB Law. When you get injured, don't expect the insurance company to put your needs first. Call OEB Law 546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Come celebrate Ford Truck and SUV Month at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Ranger Super Cab, $22,996. New 2019 Ford F-150, $23,629. New 2019 F-250 Crew Cab 4x4 XLT, $45,578. New 2019 Ford Edge, $27,998. New 2019 Ford Fusion, $19,960. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, I-75 exit 122, or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs. That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
You don't think it'll happen to you twice. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado destroyed everything, again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Griffin Insurance in Kingston is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Back at Anderson County High School, Song of the South going on right now over the PA system. Very appropriate for where we are. And Anderson County, beautiful field, beautiful temperatures. Yesterday, 97 degrees. Tonight, we're back down into the 80s, which still, when you're talking about October and you're talking about football, is still way too high.
It's weird. It's weird. That's all I can say. But we have a beautiful night here for football.
No fireworks again, unfortunately.
I
but
know, you're tore up over that.
I am.
I don't blame you. I am too, a little bit.
Stupid weather. Anyway, getting on with it, the Red Devils of Halls got off to a great start this season by going 5-0 before getting blown out by undefeated Powell last week, 49-0. Next up, undefeated Central. After that, South Doyle. After that, Sevier County. Can Halls use that momentum from the early wins to prove its worth tonight and in the coming weeks?
That's a hard stretch right there. But their first half of the schedule was easy. Halls hasn't beat anyone with a winning record yet, so they are fixing to be challenged. I think they can potentially pull off a 7-win season this year.
All right, so some playoff placement on the line tonight for Region 2 AA. Rockwood's got Oneida, and Wartburg Central has Cumberland Gap. These games will be important for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th seeds, presumably if Meigs County is able to take care of business for the rest of the year like everyone expects them to. Wartburg and Cumberland Gap possibly in an elimination game tonight. The loser probably not going to the playoffs. If you're a coach, are you stressing these facts to your team?
Yes, the coaches are telling the players, especially the seniors, hey guys, we've only have so many games left. We have got to win, to guarantee more games in your career, and that starts tonight. So their seniors are really starting to get the pressure put on them. They're going to be fighting hard here towards the end of the schedule.
And you see the Region 2 Class AA standings up right now. Wartburg has yet to play Rockwood and Cumberland Gap, so that is why the Bulldogs sitting there. Actually, Wartburg has yet to play Meigs County as well. The only region game they played is against Oneida there. So if Wartburg beats Cumberland Gap, 4 of those 5 teams are going to the playoffs. But if Wartburg beats Cumberland Gap, you would think that would allow them at least that 4th spot. And likewise, Rockwood trying to get in there and play with Oneida to see if maybe they can get that 2nd seed. So we'll see what goes on there. Another huge game tonight happens in Single A as Coalfield ventures south of the river to take on Midway. Both teams sporting 1 blemish on the season, neither of which came against region opponents, meaning this game is important for playoff seeding too. Midway hasn't won in this series since 2008, but Coach Ron Treadway has the Green Wave rolling this season, picking up where Ryan Minton left off. What are your thoughts on this one?
This is a big game for both teams, and this one looks to be a slobber knocker, okay? Both squads love to run the football and play physical. Coach Henry at Coalfield and Coach Treadway at Midway are fantastic coaches, and this could be a chess match. I'm keeping my eye on this one for sure.
Well, you see the Region 2 Class Single A standings on the board right now. Coalfield up in that number 1 spot. Greenback is 2nd with the lower overall record, but don't be fooled by that. Greenback's 2 losses came against 2 very good programs this season, and Greenback will be in the mix for that number 1 seed by the end of the season. So that Coalfield Midway game is going to be crucial tonight to see which one of those teams. Basically, what we're saying here is the winner of that game has a lot greater chance of hosting a game in the first round of the playoffs.
And that's huge, especially for programs like Midway and Coalfield. They want that home game, so that's a big game. And Oliver Springs there at that 5th position right now. Look for them to really push Harriman and to try to overtake that 4th position there. They've got a really good team down there. They're big, physical, and they love running football.
And Oliver Springs is a very talented team. The only region loss, of course, coming to that Greenback team that you see sitting up there that's 2-0 in the region. So let's take a look at some of the other region standings from around the area when we can get those. So you look at Region 2 Class 3A. Alcoa, of course, is going to be up there. We talked about Gatlinburg-Pittman 6-0 on the year, 2-0 in that region. And then you've got Austin East, who has shown to be back to where we expect the Roadrunners to be. Kingston sitting in that 4th spot, followed by Pigeon Forge, Scott, and Northview.
I can't say enough about Gatlinburg-Pittman and the job that they've done over there. They've really turned a lot of heads. And Austin East, they lost a lot of talent, and they've really proved themselves. But I'm really impressed with Kingston. I was hard on Kingston earlier in the season, but they've got 4 wins and 2 losses. Look for them to really start to come along here late in the season. Pigeon Forge, they're struggling really heavy in Scott County. Look for them to pick it up a little bit here in the second half of the season, have more success.
All right, moving on. Class 4A, Region 2. This is where we are tonight with Anderson County leading the way. East Hamilton in that 2nd position, but Anderson County is by far the leader of that pack.
Yeah, Anderson County's dominant, and I look for them to continue to dominate that region.
Region 3 Class 5A, Powell, the one team that has defeated the Anderson County Mavericks, the only team that's defeated Anderson County this season. And you got Knox West, a team that we got to see play, and they dominated Oak Ridge, which is sitting in that 3rd spot, followed by Campbell County, Carnes, Clinton, and Fulton. And Fulton sitting down there at number 7. When we saw that earlier in the season, we said, well, Fulton's not going to stay at number 7. There's no way. Now it's looking like Fulton might stay at number 7.
Which is insane. I can't recollect a time that Fulton has been 0-5 with winless this far in the season. So that's a shock right there. But what a job at Powell. They are absolutely dominating everybody that they come across, and it's exciting to watch.
And Fulton should have been competing for a state championship, a lot of people thought, last year when they got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the playoffs by Knox Central. I'm pretty sure that which went on to win the championship. So those are some region standings from around the area. We're going to go ahead and take our final break with Anderson County coming up. You see the players are about to run out. They've got that big barn there. They do such a great job, just pageantry of high school football. They do it better than anyone.
Yeah, and the kids love that. They want to play. You know, I hear rumors of this Anderson County games everywhere, you know, because they dedicate a lot of time and money to the theatrics of the game, and it brings a lot of people out here who are spending money at the concession stands, donating money, buying tickets. So it's a true event over here, and it's something special to watch.
And you saw that beautiful turf field as well. Everything is just, it's great around here. If I had to put a knock on anything, it would be that the visitors and the home team, the fans have to sit on the same side.
And that's it. I'm sitting here looking at this softball field. It's in great shape. Every athletic field that I've saw so far looks really good, and that makes me proud.
Baseball field right behind us. We parked right beside it. It's a great looking baseball field as well. So
they take a lot of pride in their facilities, which that's what you look for. If you are a head coach and you're looking at a program potentially taking over, that's something you look at. If you look at a program coming in somewhere, I don't care what sport you're coaching, if you come in and you see that the facilities need severe upgrades, that's a lot of work and time that you don't get to dedicate to your athletic team, that you're raising money and fundraising, mowing fields. So they take a lot of pride over here, and that frees up your coaches.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and take that break. We'll talk about this game coming up when we get back. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a Simplicity dealer.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
The national anthem has been played here at Anderson County High School. We are on the air with the OEB Law Game of the Week. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson, along for the ride. And before we go farther, I'm going to give you an opportunity. This man sitting beside me has not missed a softball game all year long, and we're making him miss a very important one tonight. Go ahead and tell us about that.
Yeah, my daughter plays for Wartburg Central Middle School, and we have been able to make it to the state championship for the middle school softball, which has never been done at our school, and we just won a state championship. So a lot of excitement going on over there. We were 17-1, and I think the high school program is going to benefit, and a lot of success coming forward for the softball program at Wartburg High School.
So I wanted to get, I know you've been glued to that phone getting scoring updates, and I know how much that meant to you, but we thank you for being here along with us. Well, let's get ready for Anderson County to run out. They call it the greatest show on turf. Unfortunately, we're not going to see the fireworks, but you will get to see everything else, as this is the OEB Law Game of the Week. Visit reckontoacheck.com for more information or call 865-546-1111. Again, that number 865-546-1111. You see the smoke. You see the Mavericks coming out of the barn and coming onto the field. And they're going to get behind their sign, and then they're going to run out. So East Ridge also making their way a lot less cool entrance from East Ridge. So
I had an old ball coach, Aaron. He, all the players they care about their uniforms and things like that, which I don't blame him. But he was old school. He would say, "Hey, we don't dress up to kill hogs." Oh, what? We don't dress up to kill hogs? Yeah. We don't want to get dirty. We want to go out there and play.
I tell you what, though, a philosophy that I heard: look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah, that's the new theme, especially with the millennial generation. Come on,
yeah,
man.
and Anderson County, they've got the Tennessee Titan pants, that design from the Tennessee Titans, and they've got matching tops to match it. And I didn't know this. I just found this out from our guy Brad Jones. But these are actually uniforms that honor the old Lake City High School.
Well, a lot of the younger generation don't know much about the high school football tradition in this area. Lake City, the Jacksboroughs, and all these other programs that used to have dominant football in the smaller classifications back in the day. And a lot of consolidations have, merged in together, and that's what you get here. But that's an awesome scene.
Lake City, not even a city anymore.
No.
Now it's called Rocky Top. But anyway, let's talk about this game a little bit. Anderson County's come so close to competing for a gold ball, with Greenville ending the Mavericks season the last 2 years. Greenville went on to win ships both times, winning the title game by an average of 38 points. And the Anderson County-Greenville game was competitive both times. And so you think if Anderson County can get over that Greenville hurdle, maybe they could have brought a gold ball back to Anderson County. Alas, it didn't happen. Those two teams are different teams now, notably with Cade Ballard graduating from Greenville and Stanton Martin moving on from Anderson County. Both teams recovered nicely, and both just a single loss this season. And I know they're not playing tonight, but what do you think their chances are of making round 3 happen in the playoffs?
Very high. How exciting is that, right? The only loss these two teams has is against Powell. Now that tells you a little about Powell because it shows you that Anderson County and Greenville are very similar and match up well. So that should and will be a great game.
So replacing Stanton Martin is not going to be an easy task. The dual threat quarterback just put up gaudy stats, made it look easy. But here comes a kid made of stone. Well, at least a kid with a name made of stone. Stone Hatmaker, who saw time last season in mop-up duty, has been impressive so far.
Yeah, he's had a great year so far. He's averaging over 218 passing yards and over 2.3 touchdowns a game. But when you have good wide receiver talent, it really helps, and AC has that. They have 5 wideouts with over 100 yards receiving and have 11 players that all have a catch. That's called moving the ball around, and that's hard to defend.
And the leader of that receiving core, Austin Elliott, a senior on this team, has 432 yards along a 51 and 3 touchdowns. He's averaging 17.3 yards per catch.
It's impressive, and he runs really crisp routes. His route running skills are impressive.
And then on the ground, Anderson County can get it done as well with TJ Holmes, another senior. He's got 81 carries for 418 yards, 10 touchdowns on the year, an average of just 69.7 yards per game, but he knows how to find the end zone.
He does. He's a tough, hard-nosed running back, and he's got an average of 5.2. You can't beat that.
So East Ridge, that's a team out of Chattanooga, which historically has meant talent can come and go. Players, they will go to different schools in that area. They've got a handful of good teams in the last 20 years East Ridge has had. They made the move to 4A in 2017, had a decent year, but since then have only won 6 out of their last 12 games. Now, having said that, they're 3-2 on the year. What do you make of this East Ridge team?
Well, Chattanooga is in its own little paradise. You'll see a team go 8-1, 8-2, 9-10-0. Then the next year they're 2-8 or whatever. So But this East Ridge team, they are a very run-heavy team. They got 3 talented running backs that share the load. They've all got 30-plus carries on the year. So this is a team that's only attempted 30 passes all year long. So expect a ground and pound, and they will have their hands full tonight with this Henderson County defense.
And you see that schedule that was just posted. Whitwell, who was an undefeated state champion last year for single A, got that win 38-8 to start the year. And you think, yeah, 4A team should beat a single A team. But Whitwell, that was a great win to start the season for the Pioneers. As we see this game getting ready to kick off, Anderson County will receive it. So we will see this high-powered offense to start it. The return is bobbled, taken at the 10-yard line as Field is reversed, gets it up to the 30 before he's finally brought down. And on the return for Anderson County was Bryson Vowell. Stone Hatmaker.
I'm excited to see this offense. You know, it's high power, high explosive, and they move the ball around. As you see here, trips right.
Just as he says, Hatmaker has 3 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Gets the signal from the sideline. And he will pass on first down, and no one home. Miscommunication there. I believe his receiver was running a different route.
Yeah, had to be. It's too. Yeah, he was running the wrong route. You can see there on the replay.
And he will pass on first
And
down,
I don't
and
know
no
for
one.
Sure, but I want to say he was trying to hit Bryson Vowell.
He is in
on that play.
East Ridge is in a very run-oriented defense right now. They are definitely giving up the run because they know Anderson County likes throwing the football.
So we might see Holmes. Nope. Yep. Out of the backfield, Hatmaker finds Holmes. Holmes with big yardage. Depending on where they mark him, they're going to give him the 45. Holmes has a Hammers 1st and 10.
And he's a classic Anderson County running back. Seems year in, year out, they've got the same body style back there. The bruiser back that can pick up tough yards and make good blocks and pass protection.
So Hatmaker's first completion goes for a first down. Quick out from Hatmaker. Gets to about the 49. That's Vowell before he's brought down.
And you'll see Anderson County rush the line of scrimmage, get the play from the sideline, no huddle. And as a defense, that's frustrating a little bit. It's hard to sub. You know, you're standing around a lot, and Anderson County really takes advantage of those defensive formations.
Handoff up the middle, lots of running room. Gets it out to about the 43-yard line of the Pioneers, and that's Joshua Miller.
That's a good play. You spread them out, and you sneak it right up the A-gap. Pulled the guard, good hard run.
And now quick snap as Holmes takes it straight up the middle. Gets it to, they might give him the 40, so a quick pickup of 4 for T.J. Holmes.
Yeah, it's hard to pull him down before he picks up a good 3 to 5 yards on almost every touch.
Anderson County, as you said, running that no huddle. The first time I saw that was when David Cutcliffe ran that with Eric Ainge at Tennessee.
Yeah.
I believe in 2007 is when they started doing that. Here's Hatmaker, finds his receiver. This time hits Austin Elliott, the leading receiver on this team, and that's another Hammers first down.
That's a good route by the wide receiver. He really cut hard, and it's good timing by the quarterback to hit him right when he broke from his route.
Pickup of about 11 on the play. And now quick snap.
He's got it.
As here's Hatmaker, has a man.
Touchdown.
Pass is complete, and touchdown. Austin Elliott puts 6 on the board.
Great play, good read, simple read. Wide receiver just beats the defensive back.
And that's a 35-yard touchdown pass, and really it looked like Elliott had his man beat, had to stop and come back for that ball, but then made a play to get to the end zone.
It wasn't the best placed ball, but it got there, and the wide receiver did a good job coming back to the ball and getting into the end zone.
talented kicker Daniel Bethel on to attempt the extra point. Snap, set, kick. It's good. Just like that, Anderson County on the board, 7-0, less than 3 minutes gone from the first quarter in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Freedom. He was a dedicated soldier, and during his days off, Greg enjoyed riding his motorcycle.
Baby.
But none of that mattered to
Boom.
the speeding driver who
Boom,
was
baby.
texting and slammed into him. Greg had medical bills the insurance company refused to pay until Greg called OEB Law. When you get injured, don't expect the insurance company to put your needs first. Call OEB Law, 546-1111, and turn your wreck into a check.
Do you remember his name?
Come celebrate Ford Truck and
Back at Anderson County for our OEB Law Game of the Week. Anderson County quickly on the board, leads this one 7-0 with 9:39 left to go in the first quarter. Daniel Bethel set to kick off for Anderson County.
And Daniel Bethel is one of the best kickers in East Tennessee, okay? He is very talented, and look for him to put this right where he wants it.
37 total points on the year. And that's a good-looking kick, and Eastridge going to be content to let that one go in the end zone. And now, if I'm Anderson County, now look, as the dog comes on the field to retrieve the tee, that's special right there. That's just another thing that Anderson County has to add to the magic of the high school live viewing experience.
Yeah, it's more than a game here. You know, it is an event. It's a community event, and they really support their kids and support their coaches and support this school. So it's awesome to see.
So we see Eastridge for the first time on offense coming out, and it looks like a single wing formation with two wide receivers to the right. Handoff off the right side, and that is Jalen Boykin.
That's a big, strong running back right there. I don't know what his size is right now offhand, but he's a big, strong, hard-running running back, and they've got a lot of talent there.
Offensive starters for this Eastridge team: Marquand Acklin at wide receiver, along with Jeffrey Vire, Keanu Johnson, and Giovanni Davis. Running back Jalen Boykin. Quarterback is Cameron Sanders. And on the line, you've got Dino Sabic, Aaron Sand, Chris Diaz, Dennis Fortson, and Shane Alford. Wing T formation now. Hands the ball off to his wing back. That's Keanu Johnson. And Johnson doesn't get much.
Johnson is a very hard running back. He missed his hole. If he could have bounced that inside, the flow of the linebackers was there. He could have bounced it inside just a little bit.
Yeah, we saw in the replay exactly what you were talking about.
They're just reading their guards, and the guards are taking them to the play.
So bad read on the play that time for Anderson County. Your defensive starters in the backfield. We'll come back to your defensive starters for Anderson County, as right now we have to see Sanders. Well, I thought we were going to see Sanders. Instead, we've got a flag, so we'll go ahead and get to those starters. In the backfield, your cornerbacks are Josh Godwin Miller and Garrison Terry. Your strong safety, Brandon Seidner. Free safety, Thor Williams. Linebackers, Tanner Goins, Stone Cummins, Gavin Noe, and Bull Shipley. Your defensive end and linebacker, Russ Lindsley. Your nose guard is Thomas Payne, and your other defensive end. And your tackle leader on this team is Stone Cummins.
Killing the clock, trying to have the time of possession in their favor.
And now it is, what a tackle that time by Anderson County's Brandon Seidner.
Now that's what you want to see. That's nice coming up there and being disciplined. And when you're facing the triple option, you have to be disciplined. You know what the plays are more than likely going to be. And if he doesn't come up and have his pitch man, that could be a big play.
And that was Marquand Acklin on the carry. Only a yard on that Hammers 1st and 10, which was picked up, by the way. We were talking, it was picked up on that defensive offsides on Anderson County. So a big penalty early. But what you were talking about, Eastridge trying to shorten this game, And we've got another flag on the play, and I believe you're going to have another defensive offsides.
That's just lack of discipline. I believe that's twice on this drive that they've approached on offense, so you don't want to see that. But that's exactly the game plan of this offense, is to eat the clock, limit the offensive possessions of that dangerous offense of Anderson County. You see how quickly they can score. So the strategy for Eastridge is going to be run the football, control the time of possession, limit their offensive production.
Yeah, because if you're not getting blown out, you're in the game.
Exactly.
And a team can't blow you out if you don't give them the football.
Exactly.
So, high snap here for Sanders. He's going to have to tuck it and run it. A loss of a couple on the play as he's brought down by Jacob McCall. That'll bring up 3rd and long.
We've seen that a lot this year. A lot of quarterback center exchanges and shotgun this year have been high. So center and quarterback's got to get that worked out. But you see that a lot with wing T type programs, triple option programs, when they do go to shotgun, because they're under center so much that they have some issues with that.
And we have seen a lot of wing T teams,
Absolutely.
which might explain why we've seen so many of them. So Sanders in shotgun formation now, 3 wideouts to his left. Takes a snap, rolls that way, looks downfield. He has a man there. That pass is complete.
You got a penalty flag down in the area of roughing the passer.
So Marquand Ackland comes up with the completion, and it's enough for a Hammers 1st and 10, and there's a penalty. Personal foul, roughing the passer, and that's going to tack on an additional 15 yards.
Yeah, it's just mental miscues. You can't have it. You cannot have that in any game at this point moving forward.
This is a good pass by Cameron Sanders.
Really was. For a triple option quarterback, that was impressive. They've got athletes on that team now.
Well, they are a Chattanooga team. You have to remember that. Yeah. Chattanooga's filled with a lot of really good athletes. The unfortunate thing for Chattanooga is there are a lot of schools down there that have to share those athletes.
Taking their time.
Sanders looking at that play clock, which isn't moving. And handoff goes to his tailback. This time it was Jalen Boykin, and Boykin is brought down in the backfield.
Anderson County, as you'll see on the replay, they sent both inside linebackers to the A gap, and that's what you want. You want penetration against this offense because it really takes away all the motion and the peeking behind in the backfield. So that's what you want.
So we are more than halfway through the first quarter, and we've only seen one possession for each team, which is exactly what Eastridge wants.
That is exactly what they want. And if you notice, they're waiting until about 5 to 3 seconds on the play clock before they snap that ball.
Here's a handoff going to a wingback. That's going to Johnson, and Johnson's wrapped up for a big loss.
Great play. Great play. I couldn't see what happened there. I was watching the wide receiver, but it looked like an inside linebacker came through there and made a great play.
So Anderson County getting some penetration from the middle. But here we are with under 4.5 left to go in this first quarter. Eastridge has had the football for about 5 minutes.
Yes, and this is where you start to worry about turnovers in this type of situation, running this offense. So look for a screen or draw, some kind of easy route combination.
And here's Sanders, finds some running room around the right sideline. He's got the first down and more, gets to the 10, changes directions to the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Pioneers.
Wow, impressive. That was an impressive run by Cameron Sanders, 11th grader, quarterback, defensive back. That was an impressive run. What'd he run there?
A lot.
A lot. He just kept running. That's an athlete. And to play at that position, you got to be an athlete running this type of offense. So that's a big play.
He was backed up behind midfield. So
and third and forever.
And third and a bunch.
Whew, he made some players look.
And Eastridge is going to have to take a timeout. They were missing their holder. So Eastridge wants to talk about it. We'll do the same thing. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Come celebrate Ford Truck and SUV Month at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Ranger Super Cab, $22,996. New 2019 Ford F-150, $23,629. New 2019 F-250 Crew Cab 4x4 XLT, $45,578. New 2019 Ford Edge, $27,998. New 2019 Ford Fusion, $19,960. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, I-75 exit 122, or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Back at Anderson County High School, our OEB Law Game of the Week. Sanders is the holder, and he couldn't be found after scoring that touchdown.
He was too excited.
He might have needed a water break, too. He ran a long way. So in to attempt the extra points, Caleb Serrato. That kick is up, and it is good. So we have a tie ball game. It's 7-7 here at Anderson County High School in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs. That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
You don't think it'll
Welcome back into our OEB Law Game of the Week. A tie ball game, pretty surprising, with 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter as Eastridge takes its first drive of the game right down the field and scores on this Anderson County team.
Yeah, the athlete for Eastridge made it look easy. It was a scramble play, should have been a tackle for loss or an interception of something. And he busted it for a big touchdown. So very athletic play.
So here's the kickoff. It's a short one, and a fair catch is called for and made by Anderson County's Tanner Goins. I thought that was a 42. It was actually a 12.
Their jersey numbers are a little hard to see from the press box.
Luckily, we can view this game in the press box on high definition, thanks to BBB TV and all of our wonderful sponsors.
Anderson County with the H back in there now.
And that H-back that you're talking about looks like Stone Cummins.
6'1", 225, and he's every bit of it.
The leading tackler on the team. Linebacker, that's a good person to have as an H-back, as he's giving Holmes a lot of running room around the left side.
And Anderson County's skill position players do a really good job of blocking downfield. Anderson County not giving Eastridge any time. They get right back to that line of scrimmage and get ready to throw another play. Try to catch some confusion.
The Hammers 1st and 10. Now, in high school, realistically, we're talking about 4A here. How often would Eastridge be subbing and changing formations anyway?
A lot. In this size of classification, you want to sub a lot. You want to, I don't care if you're playing single A. Big run here. Good running back. Look at this.
Holmes, hard to bring down, gets it to midfield. That's a pickup of 6.
You know, he is not the fastest guy on the football field, but I guarantee he's one of the toughest. He runs hard. He's not the tallest guy either. He's hard to tackle. Look at him just driving, rumbling and stumbling.
Brings up a 2nd and 4. And going to hand the football off again, and this time changing direction. Look, still changing directions. What a shifty player. Gets up to the 41 of Eastridge, and that is Joshua Miller.
What a run. He's very athletic. He's got some good speed to him. You got to be careful of all that dancing around because you will eat one if you ain't careful.
Just finding little holes all over the place. As here's Hatmaker on a quarterback keeper. He's in a ton of trouble, and he's dropped for a huge loss of about 7 on the play. Should bring up 2nd and 17.
Yeah, it looked like he misread that. He should have handed that off and probably just took a short loss, if not just a short gain.
So Hatmaker, probably a throwing down.
East Ridge with a 4-man front with 2 linebackers, both helping him pass protection here.
And a single safety. And here is Hatmaker flinging it out wide to Miller. Godwin Miller quickly gets upfield and gets about that 7 back that was just lost.
Wow, it seemed like he had a lot of time out there after he caught that ball. Eastridge has really got to start flowing to the football a little bit better. If they can continue to flow to the football and rally, gain tackle, they will stay in this ball game.
Pickup of only 4 brings up a 3rd and 13. Hatmaker's got 3 wideouts to his left, 1 to his right. Takes the snap, rolls to the left, looks downfield, floats it up in the air, and that pass is picked off. Going back the other direction and finally brought down is Jamie Bowman.
The senior for East Ridge coming in big. And he read the quarterback the whole time. The quarterback did not look anywhere else, as you can see on the replay. And that's an easy read for a very talented defensive back.
And you were talking about earlier, you were talking about how Eastridge needed to watch out for turnovers, don't turn the ball over. But when you're playing a game like this where Eastridge is trying to take the air out of the football, you cannot turn the ball over if
Not
you're
to
Anderson
this
County
offense.
either.
Not in this offense, because they will hang around. This is just like, watching the Tennessees or whomever play the Armies and Navies. Big loss there, but it's a looks like penalty flag down as well, potential holding.
So that was Johnson with the carry.
But when you see those teams running that triple option play against these big schools, they usually hang in there, and that's because they're not used to that offense. And it really takes up a lot of time of possession. So you don't have very many opportunities on offense. And if their defense is playing well, like East Ridge's is tonight, there's a lot of upsets that can happen.
And Anderson County getting great penetration again, but being called for a face mask. That's a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, which will bring up a Hammers 1st and 10. So that's the second time in this game already in the first quarter, which now is only a minute away from being over, that Eastridge has moved the sticks with penalties. Sanders floats it out and pass falls incomplete. His intended target that time was Chambliss.
Not a bad placed ball, just a lot of unfamiliarity there. You can tell they don't do a lot of throwing. As I stated earlier, they've only thrown 30 times before this game, so it's not the quite comfortable offense they are doing when they're having to throw the football out of that quarterback position.
They're going to have to throw the football, though, because they're not going to be able to run.
No, they're stacking that box, running that 50-type defense, rushing off the edge and sending inside linebackers.
So now here's Sanders with the keeper. Ball pops out. It's on the ground. It's still on the ground, and it looks like Eastridge is going to come up with it.
Well, that bounced around a long time out there.
Yes, it did. I think Boykin finally came up with it, but that was dangerous. Good strip on the play. Looked like for Anderson County that was Tanner Goins.
It was. He got his big paw in there, 6'2", 200 pounds. Knocked that ball loose.
And that's going to be the final play of the first quarter. Eastridge doing exactly what they game planned to do coming into this game, eating the clock up. And because of that, there's a stalemate after 1. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week. And OEB actually, as you'll see, presenting a check. So OEB Law, as we told you, loves high school football in East Tennessee, and that's why they're here tonight to honor Anderson County football and its community. OEB Law and Tim Elrod, proud to support the athletic and academic success at Anderson County High School with the presentation of a $1,000 check. We saw Tim Elrod out there presenting that check last week as well to two schools. The check will be used to support the Peer Buddy program, where kids are paired with other kids to help support and unite them. OEB proud to support the Peer Buddy program at Anderson County High School and congratulate them on their efforts in helping our kids. That's our title sponsor, and we're proud to say it. as we get started with the second quarter. Here's Sanders, drops back to pass, now rolls to his right. Got a lot of field in front of him, so he's going to take off and get tackled around the 48
they were
of the Pioneers.
Trying to run a screen play there, but they weren't quite able to get it off, so he kept looking down the field. Decided to run, pick up a short gain.
So that's going to bring up a 4th down situation, and Eastridge sends the kicker, who is also the punter on this team, Serrato, out to punt this football away.
Keep an eye on the long snapper here. Good snap.
Wobbly end over ender is going to knuckleball and stop at the 31 where it's picked up. Boy, you never see that. That's kind of dangerous.
That's very dangerous, and you don't really want to see that, period. But, I mean, Eastridge wasn't really pursuing to the football, and he was trying to take advantage of it. It's a lively play.
So that ball died at the 31, and because it was picked up on a dangerous play,
you see on the replay, nobody hardly hustling to the football. He noticed it and figured he should give it a try.
Sometimes you see that ball dead like that in live play, though, and it just squirts around. Nobody can pick it up. As here's Holmes with a huge hole up to the 45-yard line, maybe the 46, and he's going to be a couple yards shy of the Hammers' 1st and 10.
Big running back running at you when you're a smaller size defensive back looking up, and he's powering down at you.
Quick snap, and here's Holmes again up the middle. Runs over left tackle and gets up ahead. Big gainer on the play.
Defensive backs, Aaron, do not like coming up and tackling a big running back such as that. That will start to open up some passing plays for this Anderson County offense.
16-yard gain, quick snap again. Here's Holmes just battering ram up forward for about 4 yards.
I mean, he lowered his head and pushed that whole pile forward. And that's what you want in a running back. I like this kid.
So off that, Hammers 1st and 10, a pickup of about 4.5. That's about what he's averaging per carry, so that works out right. And now Eastridge has seen enough of this quick attack offense. They're going to take a timeout with 10-12 left to go in the first half. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Meet Jack. He was a happy guy until he got hurt in a car wreck that wasn't his fault. The insurance company seemed friendly enough, and they made him an offer. Turns out it was less than he needed. But how was he supposed to know? Seems like the insurance company was looking out for themselves. But no one is looking out for Jack. If you get hurt in a car accident, don't be like Jack. Make the smart choice. Call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check. 546-1111.
OEB Law. Turn your wreck into a check. Go to wreckintoacheck.com for more information. They're sponsoring tonight's game between Anderson County and Eastridge, which is a 7-7 tie right now, as Eastridge is trying to bleed as much of that clock as possible. Anderson County knows that now, and they're going high tempo. Out of the Eastridge timeout, here is a handoff. And a lot of running room up the right sideline. Tippy-toeing along that sideline is Godwin Miller. He's got well enough for a Hammers 1st and 10.
Yeah, he's definitely got some speed. He's 5'9", 165. He's got a lot of good movement. They've got a lot of talent on that sideline of Anderson County.
And Anderson County just can go that thunder and lightning. They've got Holmes and they've got Godwin Miller. They switch between two completely different players to throw at this Eastridge defense.
That's a defensive coordinator's nightmare.
Handoff goes to Godwin Miller. Just finds a little bit of running room before he stood up. Big hit on the play.
That's what happens with a lot of scat backs is they start to dance east and west, and they get eat up on that with hard hits. So you want to get upfield just a little bit, but great job. He's a shifty guy.
Still a pickup of 6, brings up 2nd and 4 as Holmes re-enters the game. Anderson County been in this 3 wide out set about all night long. Hatmaker sends a man in motion. Handoff, jet sweep going around the left side. Trying to find room, gets it up to about the 5, which is close to a 1st down, and that is Cam Thomas.
Just a great job by the offensive line there, really getting outside, doing a good job blocking. Holmes, again, coming in huge on the replay. He bounces out that defensive back and throws him over to the track. He is a tough kid. That is a Maverick for sure.
So it's going to be 3rd and short. And this time, Anderson County switching it up. They've got a bunch formation to the right. Handoff goes to Holmes up the middle. Scoots in. Does he dive across the goal line? He does. Touchdown, Anderson County. And now you see the light show. We don't get the fireworks, but we do get the light show. How cool is that?
That is awesome. That is a spectacle. I thought something was going on, to be honest with you, Aaron. I thought, really?
He thought we'd been hacked.
Yeah.
As you see on the replay, Holmes just powers into the end zone.
I'm liking him a lot, Aaron. He's a tough, hard runner.
So Bethel's extra point is up. It's good. Anderson County responds in a big way, going all the way down the field, 63 yards for a score, and taking the lead back in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Really?
Again? Hey, if I had automotive style suspension like the new Simplicity, plus a free floating mower deck for the best cut, I'd be all that too.
Well,
and if I had the expertise and advice of his Simplicity dealer, maybe he'd look forward to hanging out with me.
You don't have a Simplicity dealership.
Good point. Huh.
Yeah. SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores, and there's always something new.
Back in our OEB Law Game of the Week, Aaron Harvey, James Gibson, as Bethel will kick off for AC, with the Mavericks leading this one 14-7. And here's the kickoff. It's going to go into the end zone. It's going to go out of the back of the end zone. Bethel, a very talented kicker, and now we see Ella back onto the field to retrieve that tee. Get it, Ella? I wonder if they spray some sort of like meat scent on that thing to get them to do it.
When they first start training them, they do. They reward them with a treat or try to hide a treat inside of that. Basically, same type of training that drug dogs do.
Well, and you know a little bit about drug dogs and your profession and what you do for a living, but you know, I want you to be an expert at football. I don't want you to show me up in other things, okay?
Absolutely.
Just keep it to football.
Let's get to showing you up here on some football.
Okay, so
4-3 defense.
Sanders in a wing tee, handoff, goes to a wing back, finding some running room up ahead, pickup of about 8. And that time on the carry, it looked like Bowman.
Good
in a wing
field
tee,
vision
handoff,
by the
goes
to a little
wing
hole,
back.
hit it, picked up what he could.
Bring up 2nd and 2 off of that Hammers 1st and 10.
East Ridge with running backs by committee. They're really special at that position. Letting that game clock tick, tock, tick.
Handoff goes to a wing back again.
Ooh.
Plants a foot, cuts it up, and gets stomped.
What a hit. What a hit.
And that was Bowman again, which picks up the Hammers 1st and 10, but he got
Watch
drilled.
this on the replay, guys. This is what you call a big hit stick.
Whoa. Oof.
Now that's...
And it's clean, too.
Yes, it's
I mean,
clean, safe.
And that's Russell Lindsay.
5'10", 225, and he fills that jersey up, I can tell you. And that's a big body coming in there laying the wood to you.
But again, Eastridge picking up that first down, moving the sticks, taking time off the clock, which is what the Pioneers want to do.
That's right, what they want to do here.
And now we've got a stoppage in play. And Eastridge has just used their final timeout of the first half. They want to talk about it on our OEB Law Game of the Week.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores, and there's always something new. Like in Hammers' popular ladies' boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
So Eastridge coming out of their final timeout of the first half has it 1st and 10, a Hammers 1st and 10, as Sanders lines up under center in that wing T formation. Sends man in motion, fakes the handoff though. Sanders going to keep it, looks downfield, and that pass is caught. That's enough for a Hammers 1st and 10, and still on his feet. And that time it's Johnson on the reception, and Johnson is hurt. He's slow to get up. And he's going to hobble around, but great fake.
Great play call.
And great pass upfield.
The quarterback stayed in the pocket, let his offensive lineman run out the defensive line, stepped inside, made a good throw.
And that's a Hammers 1st and 10.
That is. Now, for a quarterback to only throw 30 passes before this game, he is throwing the ball awfully well.
Maybe Eastridge needs to throw more. Wing T formation, man in motion. Handoff, going the other direction. And picking up some positive yardage on 1st down is Bowman.
Not a bad job by the Anderson County defense of being able to react to that counter, because that is a good offensive play. That play gives defenses fits, especially when you have an athletic defense that really flows to the football well, because they'll catch you coming out that backside. So defensive end and a linebacker have to be very disciplined to be able to stop those type of plays.
Misdirection helping Eastridge out a lot, because if they were just running straight up an offense like we saw earlier, Anderson County was getting into the backfield.
Yeah. Anderson County's 2 inside linebackers are some of the better inside linebackers I've seen so far this year, so they're tough.
Sanders out of shotgun with twins on either side. Pass is complete to Bowman, and there's a flag on the field in the backfield, which normally will indicate a hold.
Yep.
And that's what it is. So a positive play, which would have been enough for a Hammers 1st and 10, is now going backwards. Ooh, and I think I didn't see much there. Did you see that on the replay?
I didn't on the replay, but the officials are out there and they're getting paid to do his job, and it's easy to criticize from the stands.
It is you're right. It is very easy. One thing, Scott Stevens.
Yes.
Longtime head football coach of the Sunbright Tigers. One thing that he told me one time is nobody's ever won a game from the stands.
Absolutely, that's correct.
Same thing with officials. Nobody's made the correct call from the stands. So now, on 2nd down, screen pass, set up nicely and complete, crossing midfield to the 45, to the 40. Wow, that is Boykin.
And what a catch. Basically a one-handed catch here, just floated it over his head. That's what you look for. That's a great play.
And a 2nd and long is turned into a Hammers 1st and 10, just like that. Boykin didn't look that ball in, because I think the coach in you will say, hey, always make sure you get the catch before looking upfield. But it didn't matter, because he was able to rumble forward, secured the catch, and got the 1st down, and Eastridge is moving this football again.
Yes, and he is a big, strong running back, so I'm impressed right now. They're having some offensive production that I didn't expect.
Sanders, a quick out, and a speedy back. Gets it all the way up to the 22-yard line, and again, that's Bowman.
They've really liked targeting him, and I see why. He has got a lot of dangerous speed. Get him the ball in his hands, he's going to make some special things happen. But the wideouts are doing a really good job blocking downfield, too.
A pickup of 17 brings up another Hammers 1st and 10, and Eastridge is still moving the football and taking time off the clock.
And they're in 10 personnel. That's probably the first time this year they've come out in 10 personnel.
2 wideouts either side for this Eastridge team, just throwing all kinds of things at Anderson County. Another quick out to Bowman again, makes the first guy miss, but not the second guy, as he gets up to about the 15-yard line. A pickup of 7 will bring up 2nd and 3.
And Cam Thomas, his eyes are still spinning in the back of his head. He looked up and saw nothing but cleats. This was a very impressive play by the wide receiver of Eastridge. You've got to break down and tackle these guys.
Jamie Bowman played a major part for East Ridge in this first half. And how about Cameron Sanders? Playing very poised from the quarterback position after only throwing 30 passes coming into this game. He's going to throw another one here. Finds a man over the center, and the pass is dropped.
He had him. It was a great ball. He placed that right into the big wide receiver's paws. He should have came down with it.
Looking for Giovanni Davis, his tight end on that play, and that, you're right, that pass absolutely should have been caught and maybe, probably would have been another 6 points for East Ridge. So now a 3rd and 2 for the Pioneers, a big third down.
This is huge right here.
They're going back to a single wing set. Handoff goes up the middle.
Wow.
And the first down is picked up. How about that?
What a run by the running back. I mean, Anderson County sent everybody up in the A gaps to try to blow it up, which they did, and he still came out with a gain.
Jalen Boykin picks up enough, we think, for the Hammers 1st and 10. They're going to measure this, but I don't think there's any question that he had enough for the first down.
Sometimes it's hard to see from this angle up in the press box, so let's see.
That's true. That's true. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up.
At any rate, it was a great run. Made something out of nothing.
And
And
you see
it looks
the
like it's
measurement
gonna
here.
be good.
Yeah, by the entire length of a football.
Good eyes.
Hammers 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line.
Anderson County rolling in the substitutes, rolling in the subs.
I don't know if anybody would have seen this coming.
No, not very many people at all because of the lack of offensive production out of this East Ridge team. But they are coming out here tonight, guns are slinging. They're playing like they have nothing to lose.
And they're keeping Anderson County's defense on the field. So now another Hammers 1st and 10, and Sanders looks up to that play clock. He's going to let that bad boy run down. Snap. Now handoff goes to Bowman. Tries to find some room up the middle. Maybe picks up 3.
Now, when we watch the replay here, I want you to watch the left guard. What they're doing in this offense, they pull the guards, and the guards, they start to really key on where the ball's going. So the linebackers will start watching the guards, and they'll lead them straight to play. And on this play, you see the left guard is backed up a little bit. Sometimes that's an indicator of a pull. So keep an eye on that.
Now Sanders has to keep it going up the middle. He got pressure, broke the pocket, found a little bit of, wiggled for a little bit of running room, but just picks up about 1. Will bring up 3rd and 6.
Now, this is danger territory. When you've got an athletic quarterback like that, you've got a lot of options that you can pull out of the playbook. Any kind of triple option, any kind of rollout, that's dangerous.
Now, East Ridge, would this be 4-down territory possibly?
If I'm coaching them, it is, because I'm the heavy underdog, and I'm trying to get the momentum going. I'm going for 2. I'm going for it on 4th.
Sanders drops back to pass. He's going to be gobbled up and dropped at the 15-yard line. A loss of 7. And that will bring up 4th and 13. And East Ridge is going to send in a field goal unit.
East Ridge has no answer to the all-out blitz of Anderson County. I mean, they're coming looking for heads. So they're going to have to really start throwing some more screens and draws, trying to keep them honored a little bit. If you can start throwing the ball downfield, that'll have an effect as well.
Now, East Ridge. Okay, so Anderson County is going to take a timeout with 1:32 left to go in this half. Wartburg has tackled Cumberland Gap in the end zone for a safety, and they trail 6-2 with 7:39 to go in the second. And we said that's possibly an elimination game. Whoever loses that one will have a big uphill hill to climb to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a big game.
It is. So Eastridge sent out the field goal unit, which I think caught Anderson County off guard. But remember, the holder is Cameron Sanders, the athletic quarterback for this Eastridge team.
And if you're the defensive coordinator, head coach of Anderson County, you're keeping an eye on that situation. You've got definitely one, if not two, spies on him at that position, because he can throw out of that position. He can run a triple option out of that position. He can do many different things out of this formation.
So out of timeout, Eastridge will come back out in field goal formation to attempt a 30-yarder. Caleb Serrato. And that kick is up and no good. Wide left. Anderson County will get the football back. And not only will they get the football back, they've got 1:32, which for a lot of teams, well, that's not enough time. But for this Anderson County team, you're thinking, yeah, that's plenty of time.
Oh, yeah. And 1:32 is plenty of time for this offense and this offensive skill positions of Anderson County. They can score on you very quickly and in a hurry.
So Stone Hatmaker back on the field, 2 wide receivers either side, gets a snap, looks to his left immediately. That pass is complete and getting out of bounds to stop the clock after a pickup of close to 7, which will bring up 2nd and 3 off of the Hammers 1st and 10.
It's a good route by the wide receiver and a perfect throw. You can't ask for much better. Got out of bounds, stopped the clock.
And clock actually still running.
Huh. Must not have got out of bounds.
I thought the line judge signaled to stop it, but here's Hatmaker looking upfield, almost making a one-handed grab there. Looked like Austin Elliott, but that pass falls incomplete, which will stop the clock.
Basically the same play. I'm keeping my eye open, something downfield here soon. You got 3rd and 3, get the first and go downfield.
1:10 still left in this one. Hatmaker, handoff up the middle. Huge running room for Holmes. Gets it up to the 38-yard line. That's actually not Holmes. That's Godwin Miller. And that brings up the Hammers 1st and 10.
Good pickup. Good pickup. Just a simple, was it a draw or just simple handoff? And he made, it was a draw, so picked it up big.
Hatmaker rolling to his right, looks upfield, got a man there. That pass is complete. And walking out of bounds that time is Thomas. And Thomas has enough for the Hammers 1st and 10.
Great job by the Anderson County quarterback, rolling out, squaring up his shoulders and making a pinpoint throw. That's a big-time play. Coming out in the empty formation.
5 wideouts, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Hatmaker drops straight back to pass. 3-step drop, finds his man. Plenty of room that time is Elliott. No defender even close to him. Just playing underneath. Looks like Eastridge just not wanting to give up the big one.
Yeah, this is what Anderson County does. This is what they live for. Like I said earlier, they have 5 wide receivers, got over 100 yards receiving, so they're very comfortable doing this.
Hatmaker rolls to his left, passes it that direction, and finding his wide receivers, Cam Thomas, and another 1st down.
Lack of discipline there with the Eastridge defensive backs. That's an outside linebacker bit on the quarterback run, and he was supposed to be covering that flat. So he got exposed there. Lack of discipline.
Hatmaker rolls to his right this time. Now quickly throws it to his left with some running room. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. Getting down at the 1 is Elliott. And it's going to be 1st and goal from the 1 for Anderson County with still 26 seconds left. And to stop the clock, the Mavericks will take another timeout. As we see on the replay, great play as Hatmaker started going right before quickly throwing it to his left and getting it to his leading wide receiver target, who almost gets into the end zone. So just over a minute has gone off the clock since Anderson County got this football on what, the 14-yard line?
Yeah. That's what this offense is built for. This is what Anderson County has done for the longest time. They love throwing the football. Of course, you got to be able to have a quarterback, and they've had continued success at that quarterback position, bringing in some very talented guys, and they surround them with really good talent.
I said 14 might have been the 24-yard line, which would make this a 76-yard drive for Anderson County.
What, a minute?
And a little more than a minute.
And if I'm Anderson County, I'm feeding the beast here. I'm handing it off to my big, strong running back and letting him march right in.
That's TJ Holmes, and that's what I expect to happen as well. Handoff, Holmes, end zone, touchdown, Anderson County. Clock continues to run, even though it should stop. There it goes. 6 more on the board, and it took maybe 70 seconds.
Yeah, that's worst case scenario for East Ridge. You was feeling pretty good until you gave up that touchdown with just under a minute. So that's a big part of this ball game. So we'll see how they respond.
Missed a field goal as well, so that's a 10-point swing. And the extra point is up, and of course it is good. Anderson County now leads this one 21-7, and it looks a lot closer to what we thought it would look like when we came into this game.
It is, and it's still a ball game, but the strategy of East Ridge will soon be changing with Anderson County getting more ground. And once you're behind by 2-3 touchdowns in this type of offense, you got to start doing a lot of things that you're uncomfortable with, and that's throwing the football. So it could start to pull away, or you might see these athletes at East Ridge start making some plays.
Now East Ridge will get the football to start the second half.
Let's see what they choose to do here with 17 seconds left. I'd hope for a big return and come out and do something special.
But they're not going to get to return this football.
No, he's going to kick it. Definitely as a touchback. He is one of the most impressive kickers, in East Tennessee. Gets really good height on the ball.
Daniel Bethel.
Distance.
Looks like a college kicker.
He does.
And this ball also goes into the end zone for a touchback. So it will be Hammers 1st and 10 from the East Ridge 20-yard line. And Ella back onto the field, retrieving the tee. And she's a good girl.
Oh, absolutely. Have a dog like that, that's a lot of training that goes into play there. And it's just another part of the special event at Anderson County High School football.
It looks like a victory formation for East Ridge. They take a knee, and they're going to take this deficit of 14 points into halftime, as that is the final play of the first half. Anderson County turned the ball over and allowed East Ridge to stay in it, but the Pioneers missed a field goal, and Anderson County drove down and scored, and now we have a 21-7 game here in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Susan.
And this is your Scoreboard Snack Attack. All right, what are we making today, Susan?
Today we are making garbage bread. And
Garbage
it has
bread.
a crazy name, but I bet it tastes delicious.
Sure it does.
So we're going to start with a half a pound of chopped bacon, 1 cup chopped onion, a pound of ground beef, a tablespoon of steak seasoning, 12 ounces of cubed Velveeta, 13.8 ounce of thin crust pizza dough, 1.5 cups of grated cheddar cheese. And then we're going to make a sauce at the end, and it's a half a cup of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, salt and pepper to taste. And the way we start is you put that half pound of chopped bacon.
I got our bacon going over here.
Got it going, and we're going to cook it until it's crisp.
On our natural gas cooktop.
Which heats up quickly and gives you nice even temperature. Chefs really prefer natural gas because it's so adjustable to exactly what you want.
I prefer natural gas.
I've got it in my house. So Emily cooked the half pound of bacon, got it crisp, pulled the bacon out, left the bacon grease in the pan, and now she's going to add the ground beef and the onions. She's going to cook that until the onions are soft and the meat is cooked, and then we're going to drain that out.
So we've drained the meat and the onions, and now we're going to add back in the bacon. A tablespoon of steak seasoning. We here at OED have our own steak seasoning. You can come down and purchase some in our showroom.
And not just steak seasoning, but also other spice blends that,
Yes.
that are big favorites.
Then we're going to take our Velveeta and add it into the pan. And we're cooking this on low. So we're just going to stir this until all the cheese melts. Then once this is done, we're going to put it on our pizza crust and put it in the oven.
While Emily was getting everything melty and warm in the pan, we turned the oven on to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Then she spread out the pizza dough on this parchment-lined cookie sheet and putting all that warm, delicious garbage bread mix on the pizza dough. And what are you doing next, Em?
I'm going to put a cup and a half of cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese on top of the mixture.
Yum.
Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the bread into the middle ever so carefully. It's where it covers the entire mixture. Starting with the long ends. It wants to stick to this parchment paper. Then we'll just turn the ends into themselves, and then that's ready to go into the oven.
All right.
For 15 minutes.
All right, 425, 15 minutes.
Now we got a dip to make, Susan.
Oh, and then what goes in that dip?
So half a cup, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, salt and pepper to taste.
And whisk it together?
And whisk it together in a small bowl.
Yeah.
And you have your dip.
And that's just while you're eating the garbage bread?
You dip it right in there while you're eating them. So we've pulled our bread out of the oven, and we've cut it open, and it is cooked.
And we
nice
have
and cheesy.
Forks at the ready. I'm definitely doing the sauce. How about you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm about some dipping sauce. Let's give it a go.
This is amazing.
Warm, cheesy,
yeah.
Flavorful, just amazing. Garbage bread, 2 thumbs up. For this recipe and any other recipes you see with our scoreboard snack attacks, go to orud.org. Yeah, not com.
ORG.
ORG.
And I'm Emily.
And I'm Susan.
And this has been your
Scoreboard Snack Attack.
We're sorry this happened to you, and hopefully this check will make things a lot easier. It'll cover your medical bills, auto repair, and we've even given you an allowance to help cover your expenses while your car's getting worked on. All you need to do is sign right here, and we'll take care of everything else.
Thank you so much.
A smiling cheater is still a cheater. If you want all your money, better call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
Come celebrate Ford Truck and SUV Month at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Edge, $27,998. New 2019 Ford Fusion, $19,960. Or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com. Come celebrate Ford Truck and SUV Month at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Ranger Super Cab, $22,996. New 2019 Ford F-150, $23,629. Or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs. That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
You don't think it'll happen to you twice. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado destroyed everything, again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Griffin Insurance in Kingston is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
I am a simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose the model that will make your property look its very best, and even let you take a test drive. When it does need service, you can rely on my factory service training and genuine parts. Because I don't just sell products, I build relationships. I am a simplicity dealer.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
And welcome back to Anderson County High School, our OEB Law Game of the Week. Something we don't normally get to do is talk a lot during halftime because we see a lot of bands on the field. No bands on the field tonight at Anderson County, so we're going to get to talk about some scores going on in the area, and also we've got some stats for tonight's first half as well between Anderson County and East Ridge. What do you want to do first? You want to go over some stats you
Let's
see
go
there?
over a little bit of stats here.
Okay.
First downs, this is going to blow you out of the water. Anderson County 14, East Ridge 8.
Yeah, East Ridge hanging in there, moving the football really well, and taking a lot of time off the clock.
Rushing yards, Anderson County 107, East Ridge 80.
How about that?
Attempts, 18 for East Ridge, 16 for Anderson County running attempts. That's not bad. Let's see, passing yards, we've got 126 for Anderson County. That's expected, but 53 for East Ridge, and that's unexpected for a first half of football.
Yeah, Cameron Sanders throwing the football very well. Kind of makes you wonder why they don't throw the football a little bit more.
Kind of, especially with that athlete back there. I'd like to see a little spread option, throwing the football around a little bit. But Anderson County on total offensive yards, 233 to East Ridge's 133.
Now, that's not surprising because Anderson County moved the football all the way down the field about when they threw that interception and gave the ball back to East Ridge. So Anderson County has had one more possession than has East Ridge. So
penalties, Anderson County's got 4 for 40, East Ridge 1 for 10.
But a big stat is that time of possession stat.
Time of possession stat is
15:44 for East Ridge and 8:16 for Anderson County. So Anderson County, East Ridge has had the football almost twice as long as Anderson County has.
Yeah, and that's right exactly in par with what East Ridge wanted to do to this Anderson County team. control the football, limit their offensive possessions, but they're going to have to do a little bit stronger in the second half.
And I'll tell you something else. 4 penalties for 40 yards. That's an average of 10-yard a penalty for Anderson County. That's big. And not only that, but 2 of those penalties allowed Eastridge to get Hammer's 1st and 10s.
Yes, absolutely. It keeps them in the game, and it plays right into that offensive possession, that offensive skill that they'd like to take advantage of. Cameron Sanders, you know, he's got 66 yards. Jamil Bowman has 16 yards, total of 97. Anderson County, big TJ Holmes has 58 yards on 8 carries. And then Joshua Miller, 6 carries with 52 yards. These are 2 really talented running backs.
And you're talking about, this is all stats on the ground. You mentioned Cam Sanders has 66 yards on the ground, and that includes that long 56-yard touchdown run that he had to tie the game up at 7.
Yeah, that's huge. And then your guy, Stone Hatmaker, he has 126 yards passing with a long of 29. He's been sacked 1 time. So the Eastridge defensive line hasn't had a lot of success getting pressure on the quarterback.
No, and Anderson County has also been able to run the football very well when they've wanted to. So looking at some scores around the area now, last count we had in the second quarter, Cumberland Gap was up on Wartburg 14-10. We were talking about that being a possible play-in game for Region 2 AA. Here's a big one, and another one we wanted to keep an eye on in Region 2 AA. Oneida and Rockwood tied at 14 at the half. That is a huge score.
That's a huge score, and welcome back John Webb, head coach of the Rockwood Tigers, after being suspended last week for penalty the week before. He came back with a vengeance. I know that fired him up, missing his first ball game in 24 years.
Yeah.
So he came back, and he had time to scout that Oneida offense and defense. And they're in a battle down there.
Here's another big score, I think. William Blunt up at the half, 7-3 over Elizabethton.
Oh, that's huge. That is huge. Coach over there at William Blunt came in with a lot of hype, a lot of former success, and they haven't been able to turn that around as quickly as he would have liked. But that's a big score.
Maryville is up on Fulton in the second quarter. Not really surprised there, 35-7.
Yeah, and that game went back and forth for a long time. Fulton, whether they should play Maryville, back and forth. Maryville wouldn't play us. Fulton wouldn't play us. Finally got that game scheduled, and here we go with Fulton being down this year. So a little bit of a disappointment.
Central shutting out Halls 21-0 at the half. Not really a surprising score.
Not a surprise, but when you look at the schedule, it looked like a surprise. But when you watch that Halls team, they've, like I said, they haven't beat a team with a winning record yet.
Geez, if you wanted to see more of Seymour, the Eagles up on South Doyle 7-3 at the half.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Oliver Springs up in the second quarter over Harriman 29-6. And we got an update from Coalfield and Midway. That score was 12-6 right before halftime. So
I told you, it's going to be a slobber knocker down there.
Coalfield leading south of the river over the Green Wave 12-6 right before halftime. Loudon up on McMinn Central 35-0. Powell up on Campbell County 35-0. Not really surprising there either.
Coach Harg over at Loudon's doing a heck of a job. I mean, he's turned that program around in a hurry. Loudon is the biggest surprise for me this year.
Oak Ridge, I just saw Oak Ridge up big over Carnes in the second half. So, or I'm sorry, in the first half. 41-6.
That's good. I'm glad Oak Ridge is starting to figure things out offensively. They're obviously scoring a lot and moving the ball around. So that's a big jump for them since we've seen them play West.
And that Coalfield score is at halftime now as the Yellow Jackets lead over the Green Wave 12-6. So Ron Treadway and Keith Henry, a meeting of the minds down in Roane County.
Yeah, I told you you'd have a chess match down there between those two coaches, Treadway and Henry, and looks like it's going to be. Anytime you go south of the river, you play the Midway Green Wave, you better expect for a very physical ball game.
And that Coalfield Midway series has been such a good series.
As far as I can remember, even as a kid, those two teams loved playing each other, and it was very similar type of person, an athlete at both of those schools.
So actually, the teams didn't meet there for a couple of years. And as I mentioned in the pregame, Midway's not had a win in that series since 2008. So looking to be competitive tonight, and they've got a really good chance with that score being 12-6. This is our OEB Law Game of the Week. Visit recintoacheck.com or call 865-546-1111 to find out what OEB Law can do for you. Through charity, event sponsorships, including the Shrine Circus, Rivalry Thursday, Our Games, Ice Bears, Monster Jam, the Harlem Globetrotters, WWE Wrestling, Spotlight Kids, Country Fairs, OEB gets involved with the community, and we are so grateful to have them on board with us again tonight and for the rest of the season, as we got to see Tim Elrod out there after the first quarter give a $1,000 check to Anderson County High School. And last week we got to see $1,000 go to both Harriman and Rockwood. A very, very special thing for the schools.
Yeah, it's huge, and they do so much for the communities. Guys, if you're listening and watching, if you ever have an issue, you need to give OEB a phone call, and they will definitely be able to point you in the right direction. So really take advantage of that, guys. These guys do so much for us, for East Tennessee, and if you need help, give them a call.
And we'll get to talk to Tim Elrod in the second half as well. So 21-7 is our score here as Anderson County leads over East Ridge in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Well, the damage doesn't look too bad. This check should cover the repairs.
Oh, okay.
Also, you're not covered for a rental vehicle, but we gave you an allowance so that you can get to and from and pick up your vehicle. How's that sound?
Sure.
Great, fantastic. If you could sign right here, and then you can get on with your life.
A smiling cheater is still a cheater. If you want all your money, better call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Back at Anderson County High School, I was trying to see if they're going to add time on the clock. They started to, and then they took it off. So I think we're going to get set to get the second half underway, and it will be Anderson County kicking to East Ridge to begin the second half, with the Pioneers trailing this one 21-7.
Listen, what kind of changes East Ridge has made coming out this second half. You know, there was a lot of differences in that first half with that offensive East Ridge. They haven't done a lot of that this year. So let's see what they can do coming out in the second half, because I know Anderson County's made some pretty good adjustments.
We'll get to see the appearance of Ella again. You just saw that beautiful dog on the sideline. Just a beautiful dog.
East Ridge coming out with a lot of speed on this kickoff return team, if they have a chance to catch it.
And they've not really had a chance to all night long. Maybe the first kickoff, I don't think it went into the end zone. I think it bounced into the end zone. So we'll see. I don't expect it, though, as Daniel Bethel, one of the best kickers, probably the best kicker we'll see all year. And this one bounces into the end zone as well, just about 3 yards deep. East Ridge content to take the ball at the 20-yard line to start this drive. And there's Ella. And Ella has no idea how much the crowd loves seeing that.
She gets more cheers than some of the players do.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's been so neat coming to Anderson County tonight.
Absolutely. This is a great atmosphere. And I want to give a shout-out to Oak Ridge PD, Clinton PD, and Anderson County Sheriff's Department. They're doing a great job with event security and keeping everybody safe.
So here's Sanders, takes the snap, hands off to Boykin, and Boykin gets away from about 3 tacklers, would-be tacklers, but then loses about another yard, and it's going to be 2nd and long to start.
He's not a guy that I like to see making a lot of east-west moves. He's your big power back. He's somebody you want to see busting it up the gut, pick up what you can, get more north-south.
Boykin loses 6 yards, makes it 2nd and 16, and that's not unusual. We saw that in the first half as well.
And still had some success in these type of situations, and that's just due to some good athletes.
Yeah, Eastridge couldn't really move the football well until they got a little bit of misdirection, as we've got a stoppage in play because the clock didn't start. So now the officials are going to let a few seconds run off the clock. And then because that was a running play that was stopped, the clock will just keep going. And now we can get back to play.
4-man front, nickel type personnel.
And Sanders with 3 wideouts to the left. Boykin in the backfield with him. Sanders, snap. Quick out to the left, and that is sniffed out as the pass was complete. And it goes to Bowman, but Bowman is dropped for a loss of about another 2. And it's going to be 3rd and 19.
And you can tell there just by watching the quarterback, he's watching that wide receiver the entire time. The offensive tackle just didn't get out there and get a good block on his man, and they got a loss on the play.
Did have a lot of success with that to start the game, or in the first half, but I think that was a little slow developing.
It really was.
So now a 3rd and 19. Sanders out of the quarterback or out of the shotgun position will just keep it on a quarterback draw, and he's going to be tackled from behind, getting the sack that time.
Looked like Max Oglesby, 6'4", 225 defensive end for Anderson County. Had a really good pass rush, as you've seen on the replay there. He did good hand movement and was able to get past offensive tackle, make a good sack.
And that will put Eastridge in punt formation. Their punter, the same as their kicker, Caleb Serrato.
Danger territory.
It is.
Ooh.
And that punt is bad, just bad. It takes an Anderson County bounce, too. That didn't even get to the original line of scrimmage, and then it went backwards.
That's a gunshot to the foot. You're shooting yourself in the foot on that. You've given Anderson County excellent opportunity here to get a quick touchdown, and that's not what you want if you're Eastridge.
I think the ball was spotted around the 10. Oof. And now the ball is spotted at the 17, so a net of 7 yards on that punt. Ouch.
That'll make you sick.
So Anderson County already in the red zone. Hammers 1st and 10. Stonemaker.
I'm going for 6 right here.
And the pass is complete. Man is missed. And for Anderson County, that's Cam Thomas. He was trying to get in there for 6, but he couldn't. So a Hammers 1st and 10 turns into a Hammers 1st and goal. A good pickup of about 13 on the play.
And Cam Thomas is a really good athlete. He's 5'9", 175, and he's got some really good movement.
Hatmaker. Handoff goes to the big guy, T.J. Holmes. T.J. Holmes finds his home, the end zone. Touchdown, Anderson County.
27-7. This is kind of what we expected to start happening with Anderson County. Just too much depth and too much talent on this team.
And if you look at that block on the outside, wonderful block, able to spring Holmes in. And for Anderson County, that was Stone Cummins.
Yeah, we've talked about him several times tonight, laying some really good blocks. He is a very special defensive player, but he's also a huge asset for that offense when it comes to the running game.
Daniel Bethel to attempt the extra point. The set is good. The kick is up. It's good as well. 7 more on the board for Anderson County. They now lead this one by 21 with 9:26 left to go in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Covered for a rental vehicle, but we gave you an allowance that you can get to and from and pick up your vehicle. How's that sound?
Sure.
Great, fantastic. You can sign right here, and then you can get on with your life.
A smiling cheater is still a cheater. If you want all your money, better call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
Back at Anderson County, our OEB Law Game of the Week. And of OEB Law, we are glad to have Tim Elrod back in the booth with us. Mr. Elrod, how are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. It's a great night for football in East Tennessee, no doubt.
Now, you're an Anderson County guy, right?
Born and raised.
So you have seen this atmosphere that we are getting to enjoy here tonight.
You know, I've got the privilege of watching it grow over the last 5 years, from you know, having a turf field.
As
you know,
Bethel's
he consistently kicks it through the end zone.
Yeah,
he's a great kicker.
He's the best kicker that we've seen all season long. And then you've got Ella on the field to retrieve the tee.
Come on, man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, I was talking to some guys on the sideline, and they said, "Well, this thing kind of started, I believe, at Boise State, and you know, they ran a dog out on the field. It hit the internet, and next thing you know, now we got a dog running out on the field." So,
but it's unique to Anderson County in this area for sure.
Yeah. Well, you know, we love fireworks here, and this with the burn ban, we weren't allowed to do that this time. I, you know, wish that we could have shot them off, but that's okay. Next time we come back, I'm sure we'll have plenty.
I hope so. I completely understand the burn ban, though.
Yeah, it's really dry. I mean,
yeah, and then we had the Great Smoky Mountain fires back at the end of 2016, and yeah, I never want to see anything that horrifying ever again.
It's always better to err on the side of caution.
Yeah,
you know,
and
maybe if more people would do that, there wouldn't be so many accidents.
Yeah, so
you know,
City of Clinton doing their job.
Yeah, sure.
So
sure, keeping everybody safe, and that's what it's all about. So.
I really do hate missing out on those fireworks.
It's a show, man.
I was so looking forward to that because that's all anybody talks about when they talk about Anderson County.
Well, we've gotten to watch it grow over the years and just gets better and better every year. When you know, the great thing about this school that I've gotten to see, because I've been so involved with it, is how the players and the students react to it. If you create an environment that they can talk about and have that memory like we talked about last week, you know, that's what this is all about.
As we see a misdirection play from Eastridge, and breaking it outside is Sanders on a quarterback keeper. There is a flag on the play, and Sanders is slow to get up.
A little bit of a lay hit there, maybe. But that was a good effort. But yeah, so we love to see the effect on the students. That's why tonight, you know, seeing how BBB 12 is here, and you guys do an outstanding job. So happy to be partnered with you all. You know, that's why tonight we picked a young man that represents the Anderson County Spirit. He's in what's called the Peer Buddy group here. And what that is a group where you know, students are interviewed to go buddy up with a special needs kid, and you know, just help guide them and support them, and give them an academic experience. And you know, both kids win in that regard. So was happy to sponsor them with a $1,000 check tonight. And oh, that was almost a good catch.
That's such an excellent program, too, and to be able to fund that an additional $1,000 to help that out, I mean, that's special.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, the money's great, and it goes where it needs to go and really helps out in that regard, but people volunteering in the school is just as important, because, you know, your time is more valuable than money any day of the week on that deal, and so it's and we've got great community support and involvement here. You know, a lot of unsung heroes. You know how that goes.
And it doesn't hurt that David Gillum has this football team ready to play every year. So when you're talking about filling stands with fans, but then you've got the different spectacle of things that you're talking about. Just everything put together. You've got a winning football team. You've got a dog that runs out and retrieves the tees. You've got fireworks that go off. You've got a light show. You've got just such a great brand and product here at Anderson County, and I know that you're happy to be a part of that as well.
I'm very honored to be a part of it, and I would say this, that's great, but really the message maybe that we're trying to send here is that other schools can do this too. All it takes is people putting aside any differences they may have and coming together for their schools and supporting these kids, and that looked like a bit of a bust on that one.
Yeah, I believe that was a busted play. Sanders fumbles it. I believe there was a disagreement on who was supposed to get the football on that play.
I think so. They had like two guys back there. But yeah, all the schools in Roane County, Anderson County, you know, there's a tremendous amount of support out there. It just needs to be rounded up and pointed in the right direction, and great things can happen for these schools, because the most important thing is that we're creating memories for our kids, and that's important to them, and it should be important to us. And, you know, like you said, Gillum puts a great product on the field every year. There's no doubt about that, but you got to look kind of behind the scenes and see what he's really preaching to the kids that bleeds over into the school, and that is, are you being successful? Do you have a goal? Are you working hard to meet your goal? Are you competing against yourself, not necessarily the scoreboard or the other team? It's those type of things that just creates an atmosphere like we have here at Anderson County of, excitement in academics, excitement in athletics. So, you know, it's just a good scene. Principal Downs is doing a great job, you know. We've got, everybody seems to be on the same page. Well, they are on the same page, and it's always reflected every Friday night.
So you're with OEB Law, obviously, and this is our OEB Law Game of the Week. We're on board with you every week. You're on board with us every week. We're very thankful for that. So as Eastridge goes for it on 4th down, and boy, that's going to be close. Oh, and some extracurricular activities.
We call that giving them the business here. There's T-shirts with that. So
OEB Law, as I was getting at, really a great partner for high school football. I mean, you see, you're a part of this Anderson County program. You love it, and but really, this is not all that you or OEB Law is involved in.
No, we do a lot of things to help out in the community, because like I told you last week, you know, we help the community out. We're very blessed and successful in doing that. Our clients are successful in their cases. You know, we find justice for them, and we like to give that back, because that's the right thing to do, and that's, you know, who we are. You know, it's not necessarily for any other reason but to try to make a difference in the community where you live, and that's what we want to do, and that's kind of why we do it.
And I think probably with few exceptions, most people who need help, legal help, consultation, or whatever, are probably in a bad situation. They're in an angry situation, or one of those types of emotions, one of the negative emotions. And so I know at OEB Law, you want those folks to feel comfortable trusting you to help make them feel better about whatever their bad situation is.
You're exactly right. And you know, when somebody gets in an accident, what generally happens is they feel okay, or maybe they're seriously injured, and then they go to the doctor, and then they miss work, and now their car's messed up, and they're trying to make the calls to the insurance company, and this level of frustration builds up in people, and a lot of times it's overwhelming. There's a lot of legalese in it, and you know, you just feel like you're at a disadvantage. Well, that's where the lawyer comes in. We level that playing field.
Cam Sanders
He just couldn't
sacked
get out
for
of
a
there
loss.
in time.
on that play.
You just couldn't get it off. But yeah, so people do get frustrated when they go through that process, and that's what we do at our firm, is just kind of tell you, look, let us handle the legal part of it. You go get yourself better. You go try to get your life back in order. Keep us up to date, and we'll try to get your case settled. And if we can't, then we're going to have to file a lawsuit, and that's going to take some time. But you've got to be compensated for your harms and losses, because when you're not at fault, the people who are at fault need to be responsible.
I don't think it's any secret that insurance is really complicated anyway.
That's the play they hit big on last time.
Yeah, screenplay goes to Boykin. Boykin with huge yardage from the 49 all the way down to about the 24. That's a 25-yard gain and enough for a Hammers 1st and 10. But
he took the shot like he did the last time, and boy, they've got that one. They've got the number on that one.
Yeah. So actually down to the 18 from the 49. So that's a 31-yard gain. So
it's a good play.
But as we're talking about, insurance is complicated. You go, you sign up, you got all this paperwork, you got to sign it, you got fine print there, you're trying to read through it, and anyway, that's a lot of the reason why you need that legal representation, because the layperson like me, we don't really understand insurance that much.
Well, what you're going to understand, though, is if you're injured and it's a significant injury and your medical bills are piling up, and you turn around and look and you ask the insurance company, hey, can you help me out? And they say, well, we're sorry, we need you to send us more medical records. Or, hey, well, no, we're just denying liability on this, when the other person's at fault. And suddenly, you got $60,000, $70,000 in medical bills, because we all know nowadays that the health care is expensive.
Yes.
No matter how you cut it.
Yes, it's very expensive.
And suddenly you figure out, oh goodness, I've got $60,000 in medical bills, and what am I going to do? And the insurance company says no. Well, now you need to go hire a lawyer, and what you're going to find out is maybe that the other party only had a minimum coverage policy at $25,000. That's the cheapest insurance you can get, and that's nowhere near what you're going to need. And that's when it should, there's plenty of red flags in there for people to say, you know what, I need somebody to handle this for me. I need some good advice. I need some direction. I need to know what my options are. I need to understand this. Can you explain it to me? And that's what we do a really good job of doing, is, explaining to our clients and, how the process works. And that helps a lot of people. And then, keeping in contact with them and doing those type of things, that's what you got to do in that, and that's why you need a lawyer. So we like to think we do a good job doing that.
Yeah, so I'm 30 years old, so I've got 12 years of adulting experience. There's a big loss on the play. Anderson County in the backfield to sack Sanders.
I think they're getting close to getting all that yardage back off that big play. So just going backwards.
Yeah, let's see. The line to make is just inside the 9-yard line, and the ball is spotted at the 36. Yeah, that's, 27 yards. That's a lot of yards.
That's third in Andersonville.
Yeah, definitely. So, as I was saying, I've got a little bit of adulting experience, but there's a lot of things I've learned at being an adult, becoming a father and all, that you just can't know until you learn from experience. And we hope that there's not someone so unfortunate out there that they have a lot of experience in major car accidents or things along those lines.
Or just even fender benders.
Yeah. So
that can throw your back out of place for a couple of days. You might need to get some chiropractic care. You might need to get some physical therapy. And then, you kind of work through it. Well, you know what? You need to be compensated for that. And it's not your fault.
Yeah, and you need somebody who knows the ropes.
And that's what we're here for, man. So that's just the way it goes. But
well, we know that you help a lot of people. We know you help the community, and we know that you're on board with us as a title sponsor for our games every Friday night, and we appreciate that so much. And we hope that we can do you justice with our broadcast and, give you the talking up that you deserve.
Well, I appreciate all that, and that's all great and good, and I really super appreciate all the effort. But really, this is about promoting high school football, specifically in Roane County, Morgan County, Anderson County. I think there's a great brand of football out there that, we need to let the public know about, and I'm certainly going to see what I can do to make that happen. So happy to be here.
Well, see if you can get that burn ban lifted by the end of the night. See if maybe you can get some rain down here so that we can see some fireworks. As Sanders under a lot of pressure, able to break free for a little bit, but finally wrapped up and dropped on the play. On the sack that time, Stone Cummins. We've said his name a lot.
Yeah, he's a player. He's a definite player. I've gotten the opportunity to get to know a lot of these young men down there, and got some great guys down there. A lot of character down there. A lot of people who are focused right now on what they need to do to be successful, and I don't think you're going to catch any of them looking at that scoreboard.
Now, we're going to let you go and let you enjoy the rest of this ball game soon, but I do want to make this comment. You've got two playmakers on this Anderson County team that have the first name Stone. What are the odds of that happening?
And those guys are built for football. That's the only thing I can figure.
And there's a Thor on the team as well. You got two Stones and a Thor.
Well, those are strong names, and they play that way, and they live up to them. And they're great kids. Are great in the classroom too. So that's what's really important too. Just great good kids with tough names that play tough ball.
Yeah, Stone Cummins definitely built like a Stone. Stone hat maker.
Yeah, he's
a little less so, but great football player for sure. So, Tim Elrod, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being on board with us all season long, and thanks for everything you do in the community.
Hey, no problem. Appreciate it, and thanks for having me.
So that's Tim Elrod of OEB Law, the sponsor of our OEB Law Games of the Week. Getting a chance to talk to him, donating another $1,000, this time to Anderson County's Buddy Peer Program, as we don't have much of this third quarter left. Score is still 28-7. So we got a 2nd and 6 situation for Anderson County. You were watching that game while we were talking. Were there any observations from you?
Not really. It's just East Ridge is a little outmatched athletically and a little bit with a discipline. Anderson County, when you look at their sideline, they are streamed all the way across the field. They have numbers and quantity, and they have a lot of athletic bodies on that sideline.
And that's the end of the third quarter. Anderson County leads this one 28-7 as we take it into the final period when we get back on the OEB Law Game of the Week.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
And back at our OEB Law Game of the Week, 28-7, Anderson County leads this one and has the football with a 3rd and short situation. Now, what were you telling me in the break about this game?
Well, you can tell when you see the sidelines there's a difference in these programs. East Ridge doesn't have the roster that Anderson County has.
Here's Holmes breaking up a huge gain up the middle and then cuts it to his left before he's brought down. Go ahead.
And, well, that right there is a testament of what I was talking about earlier, the big running back. When he breaks through and starts hitting those defensive backs, they start to have some missed tackles because, hey, they're taking a pounding. And you watch the poor angles and guys dropping their heads trying to make that tackle. It's taking a toll on their bodies. But situationally, you look out here and there's a big difference.
Hammers 1st and 10. And that new running back in the game, of course, is Godwin Miller. We've seen him a lot as well.
big difference in roster sizes for these two programs. East Ridge doesn't have the rotation that Anderson County has. Anderson County keeps rotating in, subbing in, fresh bodies, and East Ridge don't have the glory of that, so they have to tough it out.
Well, we're going to be able to give you a scoring update, but Coalfield now up on Midway 20-6. So the Yellow Jackets in a really good position there as that one starts getting later into the second half.
I'm sure Coalfield depth is starting to take in to account there. Midway, if I heard correctly, we're down about 4 or 5 players from injury.
That's really hard for a single A school. So
running formation here.
That is a very interesting formation. What would you call that?
Well, if you look, Aaron, does it look a lot like a wing T with both wing backs at the H-back type position? So you could do the same stuff out of the wing T that you can in that formation.
Interesting. So now Anderson County is going to call a timeout, leading this one 28-7 in our OEB Law Game of the week.
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Personnel.
So out of the timeout, Anderson County back out into this wild-looking running formation. My cohort just identified that as the 31 personnel. And we've got a stoppage in play as there's a flag right at the East Ridge sidelines.
And Anderson County's really starting to try to impose their will like they have all night, but especially now, trying to run that football, eat some time off that clock. And they're bringing in 2 heavier backs come in there and try to pound that rock.
Wow, we've got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I'm guessing that was on the bench because of where the flag was. It was in front of that East Ridge bench.
Probably some chirping back and forth with the referee, if I was guessing.
Handoff. That's Joshua Godwin Miller. Runs into that line, doesn't pick up much.
Don't pick up much, but his 2 lead blockers there came up and attacked the inside holes, and it gave him a little opportunity to pick up a short gain.
Pickup of 3, and now a quick snap as it's Godwin Miller again, and he's in trouble, but breaks away somehow, getting upfield, makes it to the 31-yard line, and that's going to be really close to a Hammers 1st and 10. I have no idea how he got out of that.
With a penalty down. The flag is on the turf.
That's most likely a hold.
In those type situations, yes.
Yeah, you got a running back that's reversing his field. The linemen are trying to turn as well.
If you notice, the defensive line for East Ridge was on a knee there, and that's where the depth I was talking about earlier is coming into play. These big guys up front, they've not been able to rotate in and out. Starting to have a major effect on that team.
So what would have been a Hammers 1st and 10 is now a 2nd and 15 for Anderson County, is now empty backfield, 3 wideouts to the right for Hatmaker, 2 to the left. Gets the play call from the sideline. Stone Hatmaker. A little bubble screen, and that's going for just a little bit.
Good play by the East Ridge linebacker there, who also plays running back, coming up making a good solid tackle for a very short gain, if any.
And that was Godwin Miller who lined up in a wide receiver position. And we've got a timeout, East Ridge trying to stop the clock. 9:24 left to go in this one. The Mavericks lead it 28-7. This is our OEB Law Game of the week.
Safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Anderson County High School, as we see Eastridge coach unhappy about something. I'm guessing that that's where the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty came from.
Yeah, emotions were riding high. It's 28-7, 9:24 left in the ball game. So
3rd and 14 for Anderson County. 3-touchdown lead for the Mavericks.
Empty formation.
Hatmaker.
All they're doing right here, Aaron, is identifying the coverage.
And then from there, getting the play call. Hatmaker drops back to pass. Lets it fly on the sideline. Pass is complete. And up ahead, enough for the first down. That is the leading receiver for this team, Austin Elliott.
He is very impressive. And the timing that he has with a quarterback is impeccable. They're on the same page.
Quickly back up to the line of scrimmage, but not going to run the play just yet.
Identify the coverage, get the play.
Elliott's really good at falling forward as well. Hatmaker quickly gets it out to Godwin Miller. Miller makes 2 people, 3 people miss, gets down to the 10-yard line. A quick pickup of 18 yards will bring up a Hammers first and 10 or goal, depending on where they spot it.
On the replay here, this is a very athletic play. Juked him out of his shoes. Juked him out of his shoes. That's a big play.
And now here's Godwin Miller again, this time getting nothing, as there to sniff that one out and bring him down was Latrell Adair.
We got to talk about Adair a little bit. He's been all over the field for Eastridge, lining up at the defensive end position, outside linebacker. I've seen him at safety. He is everywhere for this Eastridge team.
So now you got Godwin Miller in the backfield, 3 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left for Hatmaker.
They got the field spread, look for some type of run.
And there it is, right up the middle. Godwin Miller picks up maybe 3 before he's brought down on the play. We'll bring up 3rd and goal.
Getting a good breeze right here. This is beautiful weather.
This is what I expected to get, 3 weeks ago. Mother Nature's not been kind to us.
No, but we haven't been kind to Mother Nature.
Now that's a talk for another day. So this time, 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left.
Got the lead blocker in.
And handoff goes to the big guy, big TJ, and he rumbles forward to close to the goal line. I believe they're going to spot him at the 1.
You remember the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bettis, big running back for Pittsburgh Steelers for years, and I believe he played at Notre Dame, if I'm not mistaken. His running style, the Anderson County running back, is very similar to the bus. He's not going to juke you out, but he's going to make you pay when you put your hands on him.
And Holmes gets rewarded with a touchdown here. On 4th and 1, Anderson County goes for it into the end zone. Now 34-7 as TJ Holmes just, man, you're not going to stop him for 1 yard.
No, it's the power of wills, and he's got more than you do. He is strong, thick-legged, hard-headed, and he's going to punch it in.
Bethel, the left-footed kicker, on to attempt the extra point. That one is up, and it is good. 35-7. And then look after this play. Get a little bit of a shove back. That's some teenage testosterone there.
Absolutely. That's just unnecessary. But, hey, emotions riding high, and he's had a heck of a ball game, and he's not listening to no talk.
So 35-7 is your new score as Anderson County leads over Eastridge. Want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors for tonight's game. Of course, Hammer sponsoring our first down, OEB Law, title sponsor of all of our games all season long, but also a huge thank you to Oak Ridge Utility District, Evans Mortuary, Griffin Insurance, Harriman Utility Board, Ray Varner Ford, SL Bowman and Sons, and Davis Funeral Homes. Thank all of our sponsors for being on board with us this season, allowing us to bring high school football to you and to your living room.
Watch for another impressive kick by this guy. He is so impressive to watch. But something else to keep an eye on, this East Ridge team, they've been very undisciplined. You know, they need to stay back and at least attempt a catch or make sure that it does go in the end zone. Because we've seen many times this year that it's fell short.
That one did not.
No.
The first, but what you're talking about, the first kickoff of the game, as we see Ella one more time, retrieving that tee. Well, it's a lot of fun to come watch a game in Anderson County.
No, absolutely.
And
guys, if you haven't been here, you need to get over here and catch a game.
Yeah, for sure. And we didn't even get to see the fireworks. I'm going to be bummed out about that all season long. Because I looked at that schedule of preseason, sent that to you about 4 times because you kept losing it. And, just looked at that Anderson County game, looked forward to it all season long because that's all anybody talks about. And didn't get to see the fireworks, but everything else is so impressive here at Anderson County High School. As Hammer's 1st and 10 for East Ridge, and nothing to it on that play.
And East Ridge has had no answer to that inside A-gap blitz of Anderson County. The offensive line position isn't the strongest suit for that program right now. So Anderson County's took advantage of that position group. Anderson County, to me, and this is a strong statement, is the more disciplined team. And you can see that from the time they stepped on the field till right now with 6:23 left in the fourth quarter.
And that's a testament to the program, the status of the program, not just the team, but you
coaches, administrators, teachers, little league coaches, middle school coaches, all that goes in together. And Anderson County's figured out the formula of success, and it's paying dividends.
Halfway through the third quarter, looking like Coalfield's going to get that win. Now up in that game, 26-6.
Yeah, the injuries took a big toll on Midway, as expected. Not quite was expecting a 26-6 score, but the injuries have took a toll on Midway Green Wave.
So Eastridge with 3rd and long, which is a common story for this Pioneer team.
Look for a screen.
Which has worked for them. Here's Sanders rolling out to his left. Gets a pass upfield. Wouldn't have been enough for the first down, but goes through the hands of his intended target.
And you can tell, like I've said all night long, they're just uncomfortable throwing the football. They had 2 wide receivers basically on the same route there, and that's a recipe for disaster.
That'll bring up 4th down, and Eastridge will have to punt this football away.
You see on the replay, he threw it, and you had 2 Eastridge wide receivers standing right beside each other.
Yeah,
that means more what? Defensive players.
Yeah.
You can't throw it and can't have that situation.
Well, you're more of a football guy. I'm more of a basketball guy. You talk about spacing on the offensive side of the court because you don't want to allow one defender to cover multiple offensive players.
Look here.
Here's a big return for Anderson County.
Possibly a penalty.
Austin Elliott, the great wide receiver.
He's special. He's a special athlete. And even here with 5 minutes left, he's refusing to go out of bounds. He lowers that shoulder and picks up what he can.
And not a great night punting for Eastridge either.
No, and I was wondering why I even kick it to him because he's a very dangerous return man. Look for Anderson County to really run that clock here, try to run off as much as they can, potentially put another 7 up on the board.
Hatmaker has Holmes in the backfield. I'd say we'll get a heavy dose of Holmes here. course, I say that, and Hatmaker goes directly to the end zone. Pass is complete. Touchdown, Anderson County. That time, the freshman, Bryson Vowell.
And they are really high on this kid. He's 6 foot, 160-pounder, and he is the future of Anderson County football. Look for him to be playing over here for many years to come, making big plays all over the field. As you can see, he's getting varsity playing time here tonight, making plays.
Who caught that A-E-I-O-U vowel? That was horrible. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's tell him Brad Jones sitting beside us, doing the great job that he always does. I've been waiting for that all night. So the extra point is good. 42-7 is your score. Exactly 5 minutes left to go in this one in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Here is Helen Hammer. Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low price. Race on down!
Make this spring.
Back at our OEB Law Game of the Week, Anderson County puts another one on the board. They lead this one now 42-7.
Let's see if he gives them an opportunity here.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Look at that.
Ooh, that one was right outside the end zone. And that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Get back there. Make sure that ball doesn't bounce back.
And that's disciplined teams do that. And that goes down to coaching, because that eventually will catch up to you. It'll take a bad bounce and bounce back in, and they will recover it.
And that might be the last time we see Ella tonight. I don't know.
You've said that twice, I think.
I think I have. You never know with this Anderson County team.
You know, that offensive coordinator has different plans.
And so now, because this is a 35-point advantage in the second half, we will get a running clock. So this game will be over in a matter of minutes. You see the East Ridge cheerleaders down there responding to Sweet Caroline playing over the loudspeakers.
Good play call here.
That counter play, that time it goes to DeJuan Norris. Picks up about 2 for him, 2nd and 8.
Playing over the offensive line for East Ridge is one of their weak points of this offense. They just don't have the manpower and the strength to get up and get to the second level to be able to spring a lot of big runs. But look for them to learn from this, watch a lot of game film, and they'll be a better ball club coming out of this ball game. Anderson County playing a lot of younger players here, and that's always good to see.
I got to give my hats off to Cameron Sanders, quarterback for this East Ridge team. That young man has played his heart out.
He really has. They've had several. Look here.
Look here. A lot of open field in a foot race. And getting to the end zone is Bowman. Bowman scores 78-yard rush. And now we don't have a running clock anymore.
What an impressive run. We've mentioned him several times tonight. They've tried targeting him in the passing game, running game, everywhere. And he's a do-all for this East Ridge offense. You see him there in a wing-back position, coming back for the underneath counter, lead block there, makes a move, and nobody's going to catch him.
And Anderson County does have some younger players in there, but we saw that last missed tackle was Bryson Vowell.
Yes, they got some older guys in there helping lead the younger guys. And this is invaluable experience. That's what you want. You want your younger guys to get some experience against starters of East Ridge. That's what you want.
The extra point is up, and it is good. So Caleb Serrato puts another point on the board. 42-14 is your new score with 3:04 left to go in this one.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Back at our OEB Law Game of the Week here in Anderson County. Credit Eastridge not giving up in this one. 42-14 is your score with 3:04 left to go in the ball game. As Serrato lines up to kick this one deep. So now, will we see a lot of the offensive starters for Anderson County?
I hope not. I hope they allow the younger players to play with it being 42-14. There is no way that Eastridge is coming back. Get your younger players some playing time here. That way you can develop for the future.
Returnable kick here. Taken at the 5-yard line. Crosses the 20. Crosses the 30. Gets it up to about the 33-yard line, and that is Bryson Vowell.
Freshman again, coming in big. He is, like I said, he's the future of this Anderson County program. Look for him to be a household name here in Anderson County for years to come.
And we do see a freshman quarterback, Walker Martinez.
5'9", 160.
He comes out with 2 wide receivers on either side.
Anderson County electing to keep the starting offensive line in, which is a good thing. It allows more plays being ran by this younger skill position.
And this is Mason Field coming out of the backfield. He gets a couple blocks, changes his footing, gets upfield, tackled about the 41. There is a flag on the play, though, in the area of holding. And that's what it is. So Anderson County will be backed up, and we'll get another try to Hammers first down.
Keep getting these younger players the ball, get them more experience, and it'll help your program. These younger players, throughout the week, they play the scout team. And I don't care what kind of football program you've got. If you don't have some talent on your scout squad, you aren't going to have a very good football program.
That's an important aspect that some of these larger schools get to take advantage of, as Field has it stripped away. But the play is blown dead as forward progress was stopped.
Latrell Adair, number 9 for East Ridge. He's a linebacker, running back. He's a special athlete. He is one of the better football players I see on that defense. He is all over the field. A very good-looking prospect.
And he's still playing hard.
He is still playing. He's played hard this entire game, which is why I'm talking about him.
And handoff goes to Field. Another flag comes out as Field has a lot of running room. Gets into the East Ridge part of the field down at about the 44, but this one's going to come back. Let's see what Mr. Whitehat has to say. Chop block. And that's going to back him up even farther.
It is, and that's a common mistake that happens a lot when you run the ball to the outside. Your offensive linemen start to cut. You see there at the left tackle position, he dove inside, and that's not a bad play, in my opinion.
So you didn't think that warranted a
No,
penalty?
absolutely not. He was in front of the ball, or he was in front of the defender, and it was a clean block.
Mason Field again picks up decent yardage, this time on second down, and it was 2nd and 30.
On that penalty, the prior penalty, if the offensive lineman hits the side of the knee, is a little bit behind, that's where you want to see that penalty come in. Hey, these officials have done a great job all night long, and like we said, it's easy to see things up here that you don't quite see on the field.
And especially a penalty like that is all about safety.
That's all it is. Good throw.
And big yardage. Not going to be enough for a Hammers 1st and 10, but on the reception that time was Garrison Terry.
A sophomore for this Anderson County team, getting some valuable playing time. you got to reward these guys. They work hard all week long, and if you have an opportunity to get them the ball, take advantage of it, because these guys need to be built into this program.
Walker Martinez is in there on 4th down. It's 4th and long, but the Mavericks are going to go for it, as this might be the next to last play of the game. Handoff goes up the middle. Field does not have the first down. The clock will stop.
14.
With 14 seconds left, Eastridge will get the ball back on downs at the Anderson County 41. And they may just run it up the middle and call it a night.
They may if they can get off the field here.
So this was a region matchup, which basically shows you that Anderson County is a favorite to win this region for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And they haven't, I don't think Anderson County's lost a region game in a while. I believe it's like 14-game win streak in that region, something around those lines, and it's impressive. And I see why. Anderson County's a different type program. They look to be one of the better teams in the state.
Looks like Eastridge will line up. Sanders, under immense pressure, rolls to his left. Got a lot of running room in front of him. Gets to the 30 and tackled at about the 22. There's still time on the clock. 4.4 seconds is where they stop it. Eastridge is going to try to put one more on the board before this game comes to a close. And you see, it looks like, judging by the replay, it looked like the receivers just ran verticals.
Yeah, and he's probably not comfortable throwing that ball down deep, so he does what he knows, and that's running. And that's not a bad thing, but here with 4 seconds, he's probably going to have to throw the ball.
3-step drop.
There it
Does
is.
let it go. That pass ball is incomplete, and that's the end of this ball game. Anderson County gets the win, 42-13 over East Ridge. Come in, East Ridge. The Pioneers had a really good game plan coming into this game. Going to try to take some air out of that football. Stayed with it, and you remember right before the first half ended, East Ridge drove down the field, kicked a 30-yard field goal, missed it.
Early in the ball game, the game was going exactly how East Ridge wanted. Anderson County had several penalties. The time of possession was almost double for East Ridge. Things were a little scary there at first, but Anderson County, being a very disciplined program, well-coached program, stuck in there and kept plugging along. Next thing you know, things started clicking for them, and it's 42-13.
Yeah, so if Anderson County, or if East Ridge rather, hits that 30-yard field goal, then you've got a 17-10 lead at that point. Instead, they missed the field goal, and it's, 14-10 at that point. Instead, East Ridge misses the field goal and leaves a minute and a half on the clock. Anderson County drives straight down the field, puts another one on the board, and all of a sudden it's 21-7 at halftime, and it feels a little bit more out of reach.
It really does, and that hurts. Right before half, you go in, and now you're looking a little wide-eyed in the locker room. Your kids are starting to look around at each other, at a leader, and East Ridge had no answer for Anderson County coming out in the second half.
So what do you make of this Maverick football team now that you have seen them live? You know this is a team that in the past 3 seasons has only lost 3 games, 2 of those coming to Greenville in the playoffs, and then earlier this season losing to that undefeated Powell team.
This is one of the best programs in our area. They have their stuff together. They got one of the best facilities that I've seen in the area. They're on the up and up. This is a very dangerous ball club this year. The only loss coming to Powell, who is giving everyone losses. So look for this team to continue to develop, continue to work on their skill and their craft, and look for a very deep run in the playoffs.
All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's take a break right here. And when we get back, we'll go over some final stats from this game and maybe look for some scores around the area. you were tuned in to the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Well, the damage doesn't look too bad. This check should cover the repairs.
Oh, okay.
Also, you're not covered for a rental vehicle, but we gave you an allowance so that you can get to and from and pick up your vehicle. How's that sound?
Sure.
Great, fantastic. If you could sign right here, and then you can get on with your life.
A smiling cheater is still a cheater. If you want all your money, better call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's the final days of the Hurry Up and Save sales event at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Transit medium roof cargo van, $32,925. New 2019 Ford Transit Connect cargo van, $21,992. New 2019 F-250 Lariat Sport Crew Cab 4x4, $54,818. Hurry up and save at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, I-75 exit 122, or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Here is Helen Hammer. Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low price. Race on down!
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Welcome back to our OEB Law Game of the Week. It's a final here. Anderson County defeats East Ridge by a score of 42-14. Mavericks undefeated in region play and moved to 6-1 on the season. East Ridge 3-3 on the year. Coalfield, a score of interest, leads just into the fourth quarter, 26-12 over Midway, and we'll turn it over to James Gibson. Got some stats for us you want to go over?
Yeah, some pretty, not as one-sided in some areas as you'd think, and pretty one-sided in some other areas. When you take a look at the first downs, East Ridge 13, Anderson County 21. That's pretty significant. Net rushing yards, you had 151 for East Ridge, 183 for Anderson County. You had 2 rushing touchdowns for East Ridge, 4 for Anderson County. Passing yards, only 81 yards for East Ridge, which is not a surprise to me. Anderson County with 206. Total offense, East Ridge 232, Anderson County 389. Penalties, big story here for Anderson County. Way too many, 10 for 107. East Ridge 4 for 45. So that kept East Ridge in the ball game early on. But that time of possession, you got to be somewhat happy with that 31-minute time of possession for East Ridge and only 16 minutes for Anderson County. When you only have the ball for 16 minutes and you score 42 points, that is impressive.
Yeah, well, and East Ridge came into the game, you could tell, wanting to win that time of possession stat, and so they did just that. But another part of that makes that look even worse is the fact that Anderson County is such a quick-hitting offense that they weren't going to have the ball a lot anyway.
No, they weren't, but they were able to capitalize when they did. And it was a big-time game here tonight for Anderson County. Look for them to really start to chug along in the second half of this season and start to really make some noise.
Yeah, but like you were saying, 10 penalties for 107 yards. That's way too many for a team that wants to compete for a championship.
Yeah, you can't beat good teams with 10 penalties. That's too much. You got to tighten that up, and you got to tighten it up this week during practice. That way you can really advance along in the second half of this season and deep into the playoffs.
Looking for scores of interest, what I've been able to find in the third quarter, Cumberland Gap was leading over Wartburg 26-24, a tight one there. Oakdale and Sunbright, also a tight one, 13-12 in the third quarter. The Tigers leading over the Eagles. So
that's really good for the Oakdale program. They were about to have to shut down the program due to lack of personnel.
Yeah, had to forfeit the final 4 or 5 games of last season because they just didn't have the bodies to play it.
It's a very small school up in Morgan County, so that's disappointing. But at least they're chugging along this year.
The Bobcats of Oliver Springs, we've talked about them a lot, leading over Harriman tonight in the fourth quarter, 43-13.
Exclamation point. They went up there with intentions to put a hurting on the Blue Devils. Classic Roane County rivalry right there. We were really impressed with Oliver Springs, and I'm still impressed with them. Yeah, they've lost a couple tough games, but they played some very good teams.
Yeah, and they're responding back from that whooping that Greenback put on them, too. Greenback, a lot of fans thought it was a little distasteful what Greenback did to Oliver Springs and thought they were running the score up, throwing the football up big, ended up winning that one. I think the final score was 50-0. And so Oliver Springs obviously has a bad taste in its mouth, and Harriman's feeling the brunt of that tonight.
Yep, exactly.
So Coalfield, we gave the update on that, 26-12 up on the green wave of Midway. Elizabethton has come back, taking the lead over William Blunt. That score in the fourth quarter, 24-17. Maryville, last count we had, leading over Fulton in the third quarter, 42-7. Not surprising. And now, if you told me that score was from 3 years ago, then yeah, that would be very surprising. Yeah. But yeah, Fulton on the verge of falling to 0-6 on the season.
For the first time in forever, I can't ever remember an 0-6 Fulton squad. But look for them to bounce back in a hurry. Rob Black's going to have that team turn around.
Just a great game going on between Oneida and Rockwood, which has turned into a really good series. Oneida leads that one in the fourth quarter, 32-27.
Great game, and we expected that. It's same offense basically coming at each other, so they have all those familiarities. And anytime you come down, it is in Rockwood, correct?
Yes.
Anytime you go down to Rockwood at a John Webb coach team, you better be ready for a battle. You better roll up your sleeves because it's going to be a long night.
Farragut leading over Science Hill 35-25 in the Fourth quarter, Austin East was up at the half over Scott High, 33-10. Don't know if any more progress been made on that game. Powell defeats Campbell County tonight, 49-6. And Loudon was a winner over McMinn Central, 49-6. And here's a big final. Definitely want to get this one in here. Oak Ridge defeats Carnes, 47-13.
That's huge for Joe Gaddis. That was a must win, and they put an exclamation point on it. I'm glad to see them start to make some offensive adjustments to better suit their talent. And looks like things are starting to chug along in the right direction for the Oak Ridge Wildcats.
All right, so let's look ahead to where we're going next week. I can't believe the high school football season is already it's going away from us.
It's quick. Like they said, time flies when you're having fun, and we're obviously having fun.
We are. Fulton at Clinton next week. So Clinton just a couple miles down the road. We'll be there next week. And then we've got Oak Ridge at Mount Juliet.
That'll be a great game. It was a big game. Mount Juliet's always got talent, and that's a good atmosphere up there.
And then Coalfield at Oliver Springs. And then we'll finish out the season on November 1st with Cumberland Gap at Rockwood. So, wow, it's been such a great season. First season for me and you up here in this booth doing this TV thing, and I'm so glad to be a part of this broadcast. I know you are as well. And I was happy to see Tim Elrod come up here and talk to us as well. So what are your final thoughts on this game?
Great game. It's what you wanted if you're Anderson County. Start off a little slow. You got some improvements to make on this week of practice coming forward. If you want to be able to make a deep run into the playoffs and squeak by a Greenville, you got to tighten up. You got to tighten up these mental mistakes and some of these penalties. So great job, Anderson County. I'd like to see East Ridge continue to learn the game of football, take a lot of good coaching, and they will be able to turn that program around. But I can't say enough about this atmosphere here at Anderson County.
That's Coach James Gibson. I'm Aaron Harvey. This has been our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Well, the damage doesn't look too bad. This check should cover the repairs.
Oh, okay.
Also, you're not covered for a rental vehicle, but we gave you an allowance so that you can get to and from and pick up your vehicle. How's that sound?
Sure.
Great, fantastic. If you could sign right here, and then you can get on with your life.
A smiling cheater is still a cheater. If you want all your money, better call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
final days of the Hurry Up and Save sales event at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Transit medium roof cargo van, $32,925. New 2019 Ford Transit Connect cargo van, $21,992. New 2019 F-250 Lariat Sport Crew Cab 4x4, $54,818. Hurry up and save at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, I-75 exit 122, or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low price.
Race on down!
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.